Our episode this week really shows you that you need to have a secret handshake with your friends. Now grab your tickets because we're getting to the theater. Hi there, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Adam.
I'm Erica.
I'm drinking water. I'm Abby.
Abby, welcome back. We get you for a full episode this
Full
time.
episode this time.
Very excited to be here.
And this movie you picked for us is actually 2020's Freaky.
Yes.
I never heard of this movie until you pointed it out. Like, they did not advertise this at all.
Oh, you don't remember? I remember seeing ads for it.
Was I living under... it was 2020.
It
Never
was
mind.
2020.
Things are going on.
Something big happened that year. Not really sure. An election?
Maybe, yeah. That was pretty big.
I'm actually surprised that I haven't seen it because of when it came out in 2020. So, you know.
Was it like early 2020 or the late 2020?
It was...
I'm going to guess late.
Because like early 2020, the last movie I saw in 2020 was Birds of Prey.
Oh my God, yeah.
And we didn't see anything again till like what?
Black
September?
Widow?
Yeah.
Which was the next year. I think it was a year and a half we didn't go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Which is heartbreaking to me.
Yeah.
But I also, once we started going back to the theater, I think I saw 4 movies in a month.
Yeah, because we saw like Jungle Cruise,
Black Widow. I saw The Green Knight.
And Snake Eyes.
Oh my God, yeah, that bad. Unlike this movie, I enjoyed.
So it was November of 2020, November 13th of 2020, which I am not going to look up whether or not it was a Friday, but...
Oh, I hope.
Sorry.
Probably not.
I mean...
Well, probably, actually.
Well, it and that kind of ties into the theme, which we'll get into later, but... Yeah, I'm shocked because I do remember watching a lot of horror movies, but November of 2020 was when our school opened back up because I was working at a school here in South Carolina.
No, because I was like, was 2020 when you left me?
It opened up. No, I left you in 2022.
God. Wow. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
She hasn't been away from South Carolina that long.
It feels like it.
I think it's been 2 years.
Okay.
Almost 3.
Oh, God.
I know. I miss you.
Well, this movie was directed by Christopher Landon.
Who is a horror movie?
He's more of a writer, it seems. Like I have his credits pulled up, and nearly everything is screenplay or writer. But he actually wrote the screenplay for Disturbia.
So wait, Christopher Landon, is that the same guy who did The Crow?
No.
Oh,
I don't think so. Mm-mm. No, yeah,
This is a younger looking man.
Oh, okay. Well.
Definitely more of a writer, and as far as his credits go, I mean, you're looking at like most of the Paranormal Activity movies.
Yeah, he's got like
well, it is
5 of them.
Blumhouse, right?
Say that again.
It is Blumhouse, and Blumhouse does
Blumhouse.
Blumhouse. Oh,
yeah.
Think just remember like Blumpkin.
Yeah.
Blumhouse.
yes, Blumpkin. The normal phrase of Blumpkin.
Yeah, it looks like
Google that on your own free time, listener. You won't regret it.
It looks like he has writing credits on every single Paranormal Activity except for the first one.
I've only ever seen the second one.
I mean, to be fair, like 3 people worked on that first movie.
Right.
It's such a low budget film.
Right. And also, I believe he directed both both Happy Death Days, which are also horror comedies. And I didn't realize he was a producer on my best friend's Exorcism that came out in 2022.
I read that book.
You did read that book. You didn't like that book.
It's not that I didn't like the book. It made me realize I'm not a horror person.
And I very much am. I've been interested in horror since I was a kid.
He actually directed both the Happy Death Day movies and Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. I don't know where that falls in the timeline of those movies.
I didn't know there were that many.
There's like 5 or 6 of those movies.
The marked ones, I think, was the last one to have a theatrical release because Next of Kin was Paramount Plus, if I am not mistaken. Next of Kin was the one that was like Amish, but not Amish.
Wait.
Yeah,
No, I'm thinking of Wrong Turn. My bad.
possibly. I'm not.
But this movie actually stars Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton. Am I saying her name right?
Yes,
Catherine-
as far as
Ca-
I'm aware, it's Catherine Newton.
Listener, I am incredibly dyslexic. My brain does not process letters well. So I say things wrong a lot. So Catherine Newton. Vince Vaughn is a serial killer called The Butcher. And Catherine Newton is a high school girl who gets bullied for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And due to a cursed knife, they swap bodies for 24 hours.
It's Freaky Friday with death.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why it's called Freaky.
okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes more sense.
I mean, it is a movie that is very aware of what it is, and that's why
No references to it, though, in the movie. No one's like, man, it's like that movie Freaky Friday.
I think, well,
Which is
not
good,
that I
because
caught
that would be
Yeah.
too aware of itself.
right.
but I like the girl. She's Ant-Man, right?
She plays Cassie Lang.
Yeah.
She was also in Paranormal Activity 4.
I've
Really?
I've
Yes.
only seen the second one.
Yes, she was in Paranormal Activity 4.
She's-
She was in 10 episodes of Supernatural. I did my research, y'all.
She was
She was in-
Supernatural?
She was in 10 episodes of Supernatural.
Did she play their mom?
She was in Lisa Frankenstein. No, she did not play
That
their
new
mom.
one directed by Zelda Williams.
She was in the movie Abigail that came out, I believe, last year.
What's Abigail?
It's another horror movie. So I
That's
would
the
say
little
that,
girl vampire.
yeah, Catherine Newton seems to be making her name as
A scream
a
queen?
scream queen, and it's interesting. Like, I do have to wonder, like, how many movies do you need to be in, or is it just popularity of movie to become a scream queen? But I definitely think she's on her way to making a name for herself.
I
as
think
one.
for the most part it would be popularity of movie, because the girl who was in the original Sleepaway Camp is very popular among horror movie fans, but she was only in the first one.
Yeah.
But this girl, like you just said, she's making a name for herself in horror films.
Yeah.
And there's a movie she did in 2019 that was absolutely horrifying, and she was an absolutely annoying character in the movie, Detective Pikachu.
Okay.
She was that girl.
I was like-
she was Lucy in Detective Pikachu.
I was like, what did I miss in my research? I'm like flipping through my notes here.
She was also in the comedy Blockers with John Cena, where like their daughters go out on prom night and they're trying to keep them from getting laid.
Well, she's having a career. Good for her for getting booked.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think she was the best part of this movie. I'm sorry, her and Vince Vaughn.
Yes. And I looked it up because, we know Vince Vaughn as a comedy actor. I was curious to see if he's ever done horror. He's done drama, but he played Norman Bates in Gus Van Sant's 1998 remake of Psycho.
And that is an absolutely awful film.
I would also argue he was in Jurassic Park too.
I don't consider that to be a horror.
That's also not an argument. He was definitely in that movie.
I found it to be scary.
It is, so I think...
Don't worry, Jeff Goldblum will come save everybody.
Yeah, I think that kind of falls into the weird... whoa. I think that...
Go on, champ. You'll get there.
I think that kind of falls into the weird Venn diagram that you get, like, sci-fi, thrillers, and horror.
Okay.
I would call that movie, excuse me, a sci-fi adventure film before I called it a horror movie.
I would agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
first-
found it
Not
to
to-
be scary, but
And
mean,
it can
nothing
be
wrong with
scary.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it absolutely can be.
I mean, like, is Alien a horror film?
Yes.
yes, but it
Okay,
also...
so that terrifies me.
Horror sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that one's very much set in the future. You're on a spaceship.
And that kind of segues us really nicely into something I wanted to talk about before we dive into the movie, was like the spectrum that is horror and comedy. Because I feel like it is very much a spectrum where movies can fall if they are aiming to be a horror comedy. The comedic moments in there are done with intention, and it is a predominant part of the movie. So that's where you would find like a true horror comedy.
Like, I feel,
You can have... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I feel like the first scary movie and maybe the second one were horror comedies. And less parody, more comedy.
So, I think parodies and those kind of things have their place on that spectrum, because there are movies that are intentionally, I don't want to say intentionally bad, but intentionally campy to the point of being bad.
Yeah.
Like Thanksgiving would be one. Not Thanksgiving, that movie that came out, I think, last year. But there is a movie called Thanksgiving.
With a turkey?
With the turkey, yes. So that...
Wait, is the turkey killing people?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Oh, no.
There's two of them. There's Thanksgiving and there's Thanksgiving 3, The Return or something. They intentionally made a joke that there is no second one. They covered it on the Dead Meat YouTube channel, Kill Count.
Yeah.
Fantastic channel. Everyone should go check it out. But James mentioned that the third one, the second one, he said it was so fucking terrible. He hated doing the episode.
Yeah.
Even in the episode, he was like, I don't want to do this.
And if you try and look at Thanksgiving as a movie that is trying to be good, you're going to hate it. It's not trying to be
A good movie.
an amazing horror movie.
It also
is
can't afford to be an amazing horror
It's
movie.
trying to be exactly what it is.
It's literally a turkey puppet.
Yeah.
At one point, it's wearing a dead man's face. It's a turkey.
And the guy's daughter is interacting as if it is her father because she can't tell the difference, right? It is. And
a guy picks the turkey up on the side of the road thinking he's a hitchhiker, and he tries to get head from the turkey.
yeah, it is a rough movie the first time you watch.
Wait, have you watched it?
I did. I watched it in college.
Doesn't the turkey swallow a guy whole?
I don't remember. But I would, going back to my point. Yeah. So you have movies like that. You have movies that are very much like horror movies with comedic moments, and they're done with intention, but it's still not a horror comedy. We have movies like Freaky, which I think kind of falls into, it is a comedy with a background of horror.
Yeah.
It's taking something that is, it's basically the writer and the director are saying, here's something that's supposed to scare you, we're going to make it funny, like Shaun of the Dead. I think is an excellent example.
Shaun of the Dead
Yes.
is a horror comedy heavy on the comedy.
Yes.
So it wouldn't it technically be a comedy horror film? They're never described that way. It's always horror comedy.
It is such a broad spectrum because you have so many movies that fall into horror comedy.
I mean, look at Slither by James Gunn.
Yes.
That's a horror comedy, but it's from what I remember, I watched it once a long time ago, it's heavier on the horror side.
And another movie that's like recently in the forefront of people's minds, especially if you're a Sabrina Carpenter fan, is Death Becomes Her with
Yes, that's a stay tuned.
yeah,
The original.
1992. Yep. So I don't know, has it been remade?
I think they made references to it in a music video recently.
Yes.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay. See,
and Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
I just learned who she was a month ago.
When
Funny
I was
enough-
talking about him.
Funny
Or talking
enough,
about her.
Yeah.
talking about Sabrina Carpenter, Uriah Shelton is in this movie.
Yeah,
and he
I
was
was-
on Girl Meets World with Sabrina Carpenter.
The guy who
Is that her
plays-
crush?
Yes.
Okay.
Booker.
I've never seen Girl Meets World.
I
I
was,
barely
like,
remember
sitting
Boy
there,
Meets
I
World.
was like, he looked so familiar. Who is he? And I was
Yeah.
like, it's the guy. It's the brother.
It's
I recognize
the uncle.
Yes.
I recognize
Riley's
two
uncle.
of the cast members from this film, and it's our two leads.
Well, you recognize the black girl because she was in
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
The newest one.
love
Oh,
interest,
that's right.
yes.
I did say she looked familiar, but I couldn't place
Yeah.
Yeah.
her. What was her name?
Oh shoot.
Nyla was the character.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Nyla.
Yeah.
I remember Nyla and Josh.
This is not a dad film, Jeremy, who's not here.
Don't worry, Jeremy. You'll find out tonight when we see you.
Yeah.
But no, this I like a good horror comedy. It's better than just there's a lot of horror movies out there that are just like campy for no reason, or they're too gory for no reason. This movie has gore. Don't get me wrong.
It has a lot of gore.
It had a lot of gore, but it's done very sparingly.
And I feel like it's what I call cover your eyes gore. Like you can see the gore coming from a distance, and if you're like me, and as I've learned, Adam, you're not a fan of heavy gore either.
I don't like torture porn.
I don't either.
I don't like anything where it's just people screaming for the sake of it. In this movie,
Yeah.
the gore is for a purpose. The killer is just trying to kill you.
Yeah.
He's not trying to drag it out. He wants you dead.
Yeah.
That's it. He's not like skinning you alive like
No.
Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones.
No.
He's just like, boom, you're dead.
There are times when the killer like is messing with the victims intentionally, like dragging it out, but not in a way that's like, it's very much, I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe this. It's like a cat and mouse moment, especially when we get to the scene about the cryo freeze.
See, I don't even think he's trying to drag it out in any way because even when they swap bodies, listener, we're still going to refer to the killer as him.
As
But
they do in the movie.
right, but it's because the only time it's ever drug out is because he either can't find them or he's too weak in Millie's body. If it were up to him, he would kill everyone immediately. Like when he first wakes up in Millie's body, the first thing he tries to do is kill Cher with the knife, but the mom stops him, and he
Char.
Shar, sorry,
Yeah.
Shar. His sister, the sister's a 70-year-old singer. If I could turn back time. But like he even mentions at one point, he says his body is useless because he's weak.
Yeah.
Where when he's in his body, the kid with the bottle crams that bottle down his throat, smashes it. The girl in the toilet smashes her head.
Lifts her up and
Wait, let's
This
come back to it.
But just
I see what you mean.
I think the only time anything is ever dragged out is when he can't find the victim, or in Millie's body, the people he's trying to kill are stronger than Millie.
I have to disagree on that one scene.
Which one?
The one with the bully. Which we can talk about more when we get there, but I feel like that was definitely
With the chainsaw?
No. The girl and the cryo chamber.
Oh, okay.
There
Well,
is
I can see what you
toying.
mean by that, because
Yes.
I wouldn't say in that scene there's even toying. I think
Let's talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
I'll talk about you.
Oh, okay.
She's so pretty with those crumbs on her face from
I
that
love
pizza.
You look gorgeous.
So our bloody little film starts off with 4 teenagers having some drinks on the back patio. They're talking about the one girl's parents aren't home.
I think it's important to start with the Wednesday the 11th too. 'Cause
Oh,
that's
I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's a really big thing.
Yeah, it does start with Wednesday the 11th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that this is an allusion to Scream?
No, I wasn't getting any kind of Scream vibes.
I did at one point, and I wrote a note about it, but it wasn't here at the beginning, because if you're talking about the first Scream, Drew Barrymore's character is alone in the house, and I think that's kind of that side of it.
Okay.
I do get because it starts with the Wednesday the 11th flashing on the screen.
Oh, you meant in this one scene.
Yeah.
I was thinking the overall movie.
No.
But no. Okay, I could definitely get Scream vibes in this one scene.
Yeah.
The cat and mouse with the killer chasing you through the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also get I felt more. So we get the Friday the 13th kind of projection, because Wednesday the 11th, so you know the 13th is going to be a Friday.
Yes.
Actually,
I got-
I didn't realize that when
Until
in the
later.
moment. Once it popped up, I was like, "Hey,
Hey,
look
yeah,
at that."
it had been counting down to it, and then it never does it again.
Nope.
Because we don't need it again. And the rest of the movie takes place over a 24-hour period. But I got more Halloween vibes.
Okay, I've never seen Halloween. I have seen Scream.
You get more people in a house, more individual. Yeah, it just, to me, that's what I got. But I can see maybe in like Scream 4 or later Scream movies, maybe get those vibes.
I could get the house party at the end of Scream 1.
Yep.
But you mentioned Halloween.
Yeah.
Erica, you probably will like Halloween more than this movie,
Yes.
just for the fact that there's almost zero blood in that film.
And
Okay.
there were a lot of horror movie references in this movie that I liked, because I felt like they were done in a way that was light. It didn't feel like they were. It wasn't
Flashing a light at what this is.
It wasn't
Like
shoving
cramming it
anything.
in your
Well, I don't know
throat.
if anybody noticed, but I'll talk about it when I get there, because I was very excited to see it. But we'll keep going. I'm excited to talk about that, but we'll talk about it later.
But yeah, so the 14s are partying in this house, and there's this one little shit.
Isaac is his name, I think.
I'm not gonna argue with that.
Okay.
He doesn't want to get laid.
He treats this girl like she is an afterthought the entire time.
Yeah, he spilled her beer on her.
Which was an accident.
Was it an accident?
I must have been looking down. I thought it was
He
intentional.
didn't mean to spill the drink.
But then he laughed about it.
He was fucking with her, and he accidentally spilled the drink, and he laughed about it.
Yeah.
And she went in the house to clean up. The one girl tells her club soda usually helps with the smell of beer.
Yeah.
And when he goes inside, she's like, "Are you gonna help me?" He goes, "Not with that attitude."
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you just caused that.
Yeah.
my guy,
Yeah.
please.
And prior to that happening, they were talking about this legend of the butcher.
Yeah.
How every few years this butcher pops up
The Blissfield Butcher.
and kills people on, first they say
Homecoming?
prom night,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they say homecoming. And so it just kind of goes to show that this legend has been around for a while, messing with various people.
And she's like every major event always happens at homecoming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's true. 'Cause
Homecoming is very much a focus of this movie.
Yeah.
Well, these kids do the thing, split up.
Yeah, harkening back, and you want to talk about a Scream reference, Randy Meek's first rule, isn't it? Don't have sex. The
Don't have
first rule
sex.
is don't have sex. But
And
don't
then
split up.
immediately.
Don't split up.
Oh yeah, and the dickhead, I think we called him Isaac.
Yeah.
He finds a knife in a display case that
Yeah, 'cause
can't be opened.
He's like looking through all the different boxes that the dad has randomly just out
Yeah,
there.
Her dad's
girl-
an art collector.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wrote down, I was like, please pick a hobby, because it seemed like he was collecting a lot of he had a lot of weapons, he had a lot of masks, which comes up, but it was just sculptures, wine.
There's a section or a part of the house that the kid walks through, and Adam's like, "Oh, it's like the attic from Goonies."
It did feel like the attic.
I think it was the basement when
Yeah.
he first goes down into the basement.
Yes, because he was looking for wine. So
yeah,
it's
and
colder.
it just really made me think of the Goonies attic.
And I think that scene is a beautiful depiction of
White men not being able to nail down a hobby.
that, but also I don't want to call it a rule of three, but it is kind of a rule of three. When so the character finds a wine, cannot pronounce the name on the label, drops it because he gets startled by a noise.
Sound like a door slamming?
Yeah, and at that point we can pretty much tell the butcher is in the house. I think they even flashed to the wall of masks at that point.
Yeah, and it's
one was
missing 'em
missing.
I think he walks right by it, and there's an empty spot on the wall.
Yep. So drops the bottle of wine, it shatters on the floor, and he immediately is like, crap. Starts
expensive.
blaming the girl for...
Immediately,
Yeah.
like this guy. It's a good thing this kid dies because he would have made a terrible husband.
Yeah. So he bends down to start picking up the glass. And this is what I talk about. It's a really commonly used tactic in horror movies. But he like bends down, picks up the glass, and you can hear the music start to ramp up. And you know, one of these times the kid stands up, it's going to be the butcher.
Yes.
So bends down, stands up, no butcher. Bends down, stands up again, no butcher. You know, if it doesn't happen on the third time, there's no payoff to that tension. So I think it was such a smart choice for the director to do that. Third time pops up, and we see our killer.
But this kid is also like raw dogging this glass.
It's not like, I think we've established she's not the smartest man.
But
right, yeah.
he starts picking it up, and he's picking up the tiniest little pieces. Like, oh, I don't want to get my hands wet. Let me just grab little bits of glass.
But then also what made this scene, like, for me, I was like, this is so not believable. Because he's like, he gets to the wine cellar, he's like, oh, sweet, score. You walk past a whole bar full of alcohol, like hard liquor,
Yeah,
to
they
go
were
to
at
the wine.
The 17-year-old goes for the wine.
I think this, they were like rich kids, and he wanted to say that he had found the good stuff. Because I think he even makes a comment about finding the good stuff.
He does make a comment when he drops it about how expensive it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the way this little fucker goes, the butcher basically pulls his head back over the wine rack and takes a different bottle of wine, shoves it into his mouth, down his throat. And you can see his throat expanding from the neck of the bottle.
Yeah.
Ironic. And then did he punch him in the throat?
It shatters through his neck.
Yeah, I thought he hit him.
I think that may have been what
And-
happened.
Just little bits of glass coming through this kid's neck.
Horrible way to go.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
then and then the wine was drowning him. Like if he wasn't dying from the blood loss and the asphyxiation.
Least of his problems. You know what would be really funny though that
Yeah.
we're not thinking about? Where'd that cork go? Because this kid drowning, blood loss, arterial damage, and a cork.
I would argue he had the worst death out the four.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. followed closely by his girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who is becomes, I can't talk, who starts getting chased through the house by the butcher, ends up in a fucking, no, I'm sorry. She's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's
Somebody knocks.
Someone cop knocking on that fucking door. and then the butcher kicks the door open, puts her head in the toilet, and what did you say when we watched it last night? That you thought he was going to drown her?
I thought he was going to drown her. I was like,
No.
better way to go.
Slamming her head in the toilet. But
That's a strong fucking toilet lid.
Yeah, and
he crushes a girl's skull with it.
But you never see, and that's a big thing in like if we're talking about gore that I don't like is seeing someone's brains come out. It just gets me in a way I really hate. But you don't see that because of the jump cut.
I like the way they edited it.
Yes.
So it was, you see her head in the toilet. You see her get hit. It cuts to the butcher. You see him, when he presses it back down again, you see her face in that moment. More blood. Pulls up the lid, cuts back to the butcher, slams back down. So it's never like the continuous shot of her being beaten in the toilet.
Yeah.
It's
Which
a
I
way-
think would have been gratuitous and like also just like not a good way to show violence against women. Like some guy would have been like, yes, she deserved that.
But I also think it's a good way to show their makeup, their practical effects with the makeup.
Yes.
Because instead of having
really
it to be one continuous shot of this dummy being crushed and making it look less real, it's, well, we'll cut away. All right. Add more prosthetic. Slam it. More prosthetic. All right. Bring in the dummy head.
Yeah. And if I recall, when that moment when you're starting to, like, you know that you're going to see her head get absolutely crushed is when they do the jump cut.
Probably. Because
Maybe I
you
closed my
don't
eyes.
see the full aftermath.
Okay.
And then, so the killer.
And then it cuts to the girl getting railed by that guy on that car.
Oh, yeah. That's a great, and I think that's A+ horror comedy moment. Just jump cutting from such a brutal scene to something else that is not supposed to, going back to horror, Randy Meek's Horror 101, Surviving Horror, don't have sex.
Yep.
And what are they doing? Having sex on a car?
Randomly.
They had couches.
Her bedroom's
It's her house.
30 feet up the way, you know?
Instead, they're having sex.
It's easier to clean up in a garage.
Yeah.
Again.
And then
But
they walk out.
there was
into the-
nothing to clean up.
Yeah, because she didn't let him come.
She's like, it's a vagina, not a drive-through. No, that's not what she says.
Yeah, no, I think that is.
Okay, but yeah, she's like, it's a vagina, not a drive-through. You're taking too long. He's like following her. He's like, what about a hand job?
He's like, it's not fair. And just like, look, not everyone gets to come here.
But this kid has the best death out of all of them because it is
It's
so fast.
It's so quick.
Also, it's creative.
But also,
Yes.
I've never seen a tennis racket used like that.
why are they walking through the tennis court to get back to the pool?
I don't know, man.
Spoil little rich kids.
I
You were a
haven't
spoiled
yet.
little rich kid, you know.
How
How many tennis courts did you
Not
have?
that.
Comfortably middle class here.
You did have a pool, though.
The neighborhood had a pool. A lot of people in the neighborhood had pools. It's
Yeah.
just coincidence.
Sure.
This is where I wrote a note about Scream. So I'm sorry.
You're good.
Abby burped.
We can cut that out.
I'm not going to, though.
It will be cut out.
God. This is where I wrote the note about Scream, because I said early kills, you know they're going to die, but you have to be able to root for them a little bit. So this is when the boyfriend gets the tennis racket through the head.
Oh my god!
Immediately.
But the way he does it, the butcher pops up behind him with a tennis racket, breaks it in half, and then stabs each half into both sides of this kid's head.
Yeah.
And
The easiest, best stuff.
it
Beautiful moment.
This kid didn't even know it was coming.
No.
Unlike him. Or like him. Yeah. There we
Yeah.
go. Nailed it. First try.
And the found object killing, I think, is very reminiscent of Jason.
Yeah. He's just grabbing whatever's on
A
hand.
little bit Michael Myers, but not as much as Jason. Jason very much was like,
I've never seen either, so.
Jason has some creative ones, but
Yeah.
his, like, if you ask anyone what did Jason kill people with, they're going to say machete. But he had some creative ones. Another one that was good for him was a harpoon gun.
yeah.
Well, that sounds fun.
And-
for Jason.
Yeah.
I
Michael
guess-
Myers did kill somebody with a
A light bulb.
ice hockey
Stick?
skate.
Oh.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt with a skate to the face. It was a great early kill. But this is definitely where, like, her death, when we see this blonde, kind of empowered-esque, you know, based on the last conversation we heard her have with her boyfriend.
Spoiled little rich kid.
She becomes Drew Barrymore's character at the beginning of Scream. We know that she's going to die.
Yes.
But you have to be able to root for them or you're going to lose interest. Like, you need to know they're going to die, but you still want them.
And there's also has to be a split moment where you're like, they can get out of this.
Yeah. And she could have. I was so mad about it.
I was so mad at her.
All she had to do was stay in that fucking closet.
So basically go ahead.
I was just going to say, she like runs into the closet, right? And you're like, oh no, that's a dumb move. And when Vince Vaughn goes to like open the thing, she's not there. So you're like, there's a trap door or something. That was my thought. Yeah. And turns out there was a trap door.
This is the fucking closet from Narnia.
It is exactly the closet.
She should have stayed in there with Mr. Tumnus.
Yes. And then like for some reason her dumb ass just like opens the door immediately after he leaves.
Right.
And tries to run away.
Oh, real quick. Forgot to mention, as he's chasing her, before she gets in the wardrobe, she runs past the table with like a small spear on it.
Yes.
And the butcher grabs that and throws it into the wall.
Yes.
And then she runs and hides in the closet.
Barely misses her.
But real quick, back to what we talked about, fun items being used to kill people. There was a movie from 1986 called Deadly Friend. There's an actress in it, the evil mom from the Goonies.
Oh, okay.
Anne Ramsey. She has an amazing kill in that movie where she crushes someone's head with a basketball.
How?
It's phenomenal.
I'm sorry. Tell me this movie one more time.
Deadly Friend, 1986.
That's not far before Goonies.
It's true. Actually, it's after Goonies.
I'm gonna add it to my October watch list.
Yeah. So when the girl prematurely comes out of the closet, unlike her boyfriend.
Oh my god.
If she just fucking wait. I said when we watched this last night, I would not come out of that closet until I saw fucking daylight.
Yeah.
So the police is at the door knocking, telling me they're there.
Yeah. Nothing would have gotten me. I would have stayed in there for days.
Days. So she pokes her head out of this closet. Her parents show up. She sees the headlights on the wall. This girl starts running and screaming, "Dad!"
Yeah.
And she turns a corner. And the butcher, who is as strong as the Hulk in this movie, just picks this girl up and throws her into the spear that's still in the wall.
Yeah. So she gets impaled by the dull back half of the spear.
There's blades on both ends.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah.
You know what? I was so focused on the fact that it felt like a callback to Halloween 4 when Michael Myers impales I believe it was the sheriff's daughter with a shotgun.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
It's
That's
wild.
and that's what I mean about, like, I don't know if it was an intentional callback or if it just, because I have seen those movies, if that's the first thing that came to my mind.
I could tell you another reason why it would make you think of Halloween. Because in this moment, when she's hanging on the wall, he does the Michael Myers head tilt.
Yeah, he does.
He's just looking at his work, which is the thing Michael does when he kills the boyfriend in the original 1978 movie.
Is that not where he hangs somebody on a wall too?
He does, but Michael uses a kitchen knife.
I gotcha.
Yep.
And he also takes the mask off at this point, and he sees the knife on the bar that the wine boy was looking at.
And he's like, I want.
Yeah, so he gets
I
it.
need this.
Doesn't say it, but...
Yeah, Vince Vaughn doesn't have a single word of dialogue until probably over 20 minutes into this film.
He doesn't, I feel like the character itself doesn't speak much.
No, he doesn't.
Not until the very end, and...
Mm-hmm.
You sly dog, you caught me monologuing.
That's basically it, though.
That's what it feels like.
It sure does. But he smashes the knife. The parents walk in, see the daughter, and Erica described it as the appropriate reaction.
It was, yeah. Because
screamed.
they were like correctly horrified, correctly like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah.
Like, they had the right vision for that.
Yeah.
Much like Drew Barrymore's parents from Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it cuts to Thursday?
Thursday the 12th.
Thursday the 12th. And we meet our hero of the film, Millie.
I thought this movie was a period piece till they went to school and I saw a cell phone. No, it was at the
breakfast table.
The breakfast table, and I saw the sister's cell phone. I was like, this is a 90s movie. Because I was like, the way the house is laid up, the way the posters are on the wall, because I didn't know who the guy was on that thing. Maybe I'm just old. I don't know if that's someone new.
I wasn't paying enough attention to
And
that part.
I didn't see the Pitch Perfect poster. I don't know if that showed up in that scene, but I know it shows up later.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think we see that until the actual body swap happens.
so like the way she's dressed, the way the house is laid out, the way the wallpaper of her room is, I was like, oh, this must take place in the 90s.
No, everything you're saying, I agree with 100%.
Yeah.
Her mom, her sister,
Her clothes.
the wallpaper, the kitchen, everything looked like 90s. And I actually would have liked this more if it was a period piece. I hate snotty kids on their smartphones.
I think you know what? I think the way this movie could have played out a little better had it been a period piece in the 90s.
But then certain things couldn't happen the way they do. Like at the end when they find the butchers on someone's Instagram, they would have never found him.
Ryler would have been less annoying had the internet not existed for her.
So basically the movie at this point is you see Millie and her mother at the breakfast table, and they're talking about how she is not going to homecoming.
Yes.
And the sister,
it's like, how are you going to take this event? Yeah.
Who is a cop?
Who is a cop, and we'll talk about how good of a cop she is later, because I've got thoughts.
As your dad is a
I've
cop.
I've got notes. We don't even need to get into that. There's other reasons. This was like watching, oh God, what's his name? From Andy... Don
Knotts.
Don Knotts, yeah. So, anyways,
Don
basically, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
She's asked. It's very clear that mom is trying to keep Millie close to home, and
she's forcing dependency on her daughter.
And it's unclear whether or not it is being done for a specific reason, or if she's just overprotective in general. But the sister is trying to get her to go to homecoming.
Yeah. And we can say right now why it is. The dad died like what, a year, 2 years?
Ago?
Yeah.
And the mother is dependent on her daughter. And she's also a drunk.
Yes. So
and not even good wine. It's Chardonnay. All right.
Also, it's called Loose Goose.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
No, Swan Song.
Swan Song.
Swan
Song. Had a great name.
She's getting drunk off of $5 wine from Target. Like, ma'am.
So, the sister, Shar, finds an empty bottle of wine.
In the trash.
And it's also, like, as you think about the way the mom is speaking, it's very likely that she had already been drinking that morning. Mm-hmm. And it's just sad to watch. But,
Mom got up early that day and she took her medicine. That's all.
Yeah. I think at that point in the movie, you can tell that both of the girls know what's going on with mom, and it's sad.
But Millie is a pushover.
Yes.
And Millie allows her mother to just walk all over her.
It's not. I feel like it's less that. Well, Millie is a pushover, yes. But it's more of Millie also kind of is more empathetic to the situation that her mom is in, where Shar is like, it's been a year. You can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
I believe I look at it more as Shar is a grown adult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Millie is a 17-year-old girl.
Yes.
Shar is looking at it more as a fact of you can't take your depression out on your child.
Right.
You need to be there for your child, whereas right now your child is being forced to be there for you.
Yeah, I also feel like Shar has not the foresight, but the ability to be like, my frontal lobe is more developed than my sister, so I have the ability to get out where she doesn't quite have that yet. Like, I have gotten out of the situation. She hasn't quite been able to escape.
But she's not completely out of it because she still lives there. The thing is, she doesn't let her mother use her as her crutch.
True.
Yeah. Millie is still at that point where Millie is like, no, my mom needs me. I can't go off to college.
That's
my mom
true.
needs me to stay home.
But
that's
Millie's
not
also,
right.
Yeah, Millie also is still a child. So
I put a note in here that said, "Mom's a drunk, probably gonna die."
Wow. I was with you though.
I really thought
she gets killed by her booze demons.
These next couple scenes, I was like, oh, that person's gonna die. That person's gonna die.
The dog's gonna die. They don't have a dog. Somebody in the neighborhood had a dog.
I was about to say, when did Millie have a dog?
I wrote the dog is doomed.
Like, there are like so many moments where I was like, oh, this person's not making it out of this film.
My least favorite character in this movie is that fucking shop teacher.
Cameron!
That guy fucking sucked.
And I am so excited to talk about him. But
Actor's great.
Yes. So first of all, as Millie gets to school and is meeting up with friends, I noticed that the outfit that she's wearing is very reminiscent of Laurie Strode. Maybe that's just me, but that's the kind of vibe that I got.
I mean, I don't remember Laurie's outfit particularly. I think she was wearing a dress, yes?
I felt like
That's all I remember.
And a cardigan.
It was more
Okay,
90s, like more
It was more updated than the 70s, but it still felt...
for me, like it felt like Brittany Murphy in Clueless.
Ooh.
Before she gets made over.
No, I thought Brittany Murphy in Clueless was grunge.
Oh, was she grunge? Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. She was grunge.
Rolling with the home.
I can't think of anyone that particularly looked like Millie's wardrobe at the beginning of this movie. It felt out of time.
That whole opening scene till I saw a cell phone, I was like, 90s.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can really say, because I can't think off the top of my head another character that goes from looking, let's say, dumpy to being just changing her outfit and pulling her hair back.
She's all that.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw that out.
She all they needed to do was just take off her glasses.
Right, because people with glasses are ugly.
Thanks.
So both of you take your glasses off. Erica has 2 pairs of glasses on right now. Great. You look fantastic
Thank
now.
you. I gotta let my hair down too.
You gotta shake out the ponytail.
If
Shake
early
out the
2000
ponytail.
or if 90s and 80s if 90s and early 2000s film has taught us anything, if you wear glasses, you're a monster.
I'm not gonna lie though. Not another teen movie.
Oh,
Though
God.
it's a parody.
Uh-huh.
I love that movie, and I think that movie is fantastic.
Oh my
She's
God.
All, yeah, I think it's fantastic in the sense of like it is so good in a She's All That retelling to show the ridiculousness of the whole situation.
Yeah.
It does it so well.
So this is where we get introduced to her 2 friends. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Nyla and Josh.
I don't like Josh.
Josh's writing was not
It was
well done.
It
I
felt
felt
offensive.
Now, I will say, having worked in schools before, there is a level of flamboyancy that it's not that there are no people that act that way. It's just not every gay person acts that way. And when you have one main gay character in your movie and they're acting like a caricature, that's a problem.
It felt weird in the sense of, like, the black girl was not a character. She was very authentic to a stereotypical suburban black girl, I felt, with white friends. As a black girl with white friends that grew up in suburbia. Yeah. Like, it felt very, very, authentic to me. Like, it's not a one shoe fits all, but it felt like I could relate to this character without being like, hey, this is offensive.
Yeah.
Whereas that guy, I was like, I'm not even like, this gotta be offensive to somebody. Like,
The character Josh, I can get past his campy flamboyantness. Fine. My problem is the thing of when they were talking about going to homecoming, he said, "Oh yeah, when the drunk boys get straight and realize they're bisexual." That came off as like very predatorial. He wants drunk people.
They commented on that, how that was.
They said they sounded rapey.
Yes, and he was like,
but his response is like, eh.
But then it does come up later.
Yeah.
That does happen at the end.
It does.
And-
but it's still,
But it felt like
that's what Josh wanted originally.
Right.
But in that moment, there's kind of a bigger thing going on
Yeah,
here.
I'm not in any way condoning.
So they're at the school.
So they're at the school, and at this point, Nyla makes a comment that like your dad's been dead a year.
Yeah, let's circle back.
Okay.
To Josh's car. And his "Hey bitch" front tags. Loved it. Kind of wanted for mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, when she gets to school, this is where they have the comment about her dad being dead for a year.
Yes.
And Nyla also is telling her to not let her mother
Controller.
Yeah, she says, you need to live your own life.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciated the fact that it was not like Nyla was saying, it's been a year, you need to get over it. It's been a year, your mom needs to stop using you as a crutch. Neither one of you needs to be past this.
Yeah.
But which I think happens sometimes in movies where they're like,
It's like, you got to get over this death that happened.
6 months.
Yeah.
You should be over it by now. It's like, what the hell? This is also where we meet the mean girl and get some insight into why Millie's outfit is so dated.
Yes, but also
Ryler.
That's the worst name.
Can we talk about that name, Ryler?
It's so bad. Like, I heard it and I was like, it can't be Ryler. Riley, I can get.
Yeah.
You know, Ryder, sure. Ryler?
Some names feel like pulling Scrabble tiles, but you know what? I'm not one to judge. I don't have kids. Ryler makes a point to come up to Millie while Millie's at her locker, standing there up against the locker, and asks, "Where did you get your outfit?" in a very conversational way.
With the largest Mean Girl pack I've ever
Right?
seen in my life. Like,
Yeah.
it is like 10 people deep.
Right.
And they're all just standing there looking at the shortest girl in the world. Because she's like 5 foot.
Ryler is very small, and especially compared to Catherine Newton, who is on
The taller
Taller
spectrum.
side.
Yeah. But yeah, girls are terrible as a terrible girl.
Yeah.
But like, this girl is 5 foot tall, and her Mean Girl posse is all like 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah.
And luckily, they're not characters.
True.
They are in the scene and gone.
Yeah, Ryler is 5'1". Ryler is a character. Because Ryler becomes a victim. And
Yeah.
I even wrote, mean girl gonna die.
Immediately, she pops up, and I was like, oh, she's dead.
And this is where we're introduced to Booker.
No.
yeah.
Did we talk about what she says to Millie outside of her locker?
Oh,
Oh.
that-
She condescendingly insults and compliments her outfit.
yes, we kind of got into that, but basically said, I saw it, bargain basement,
Discount bargain?
discount.
Something like that. She
Yeah.
also insults Millie's mom because her mom works there.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, now you're going to insult my mother. Oh, let me take these earrings out.
And then,
real
but
fast.
like, immediately when she said it, I was like, this girl's dad died a year ago, and we're
Yeah.
insulting people?
Yeah.
A year! It's been a year, and they're treating her like the plague.
We see Millie wistfully looking at a boy who we find out later is Booker when they go to shop class together and they share a table.
Another stupid name. I do not like the names in
They
this
have a
movie.
nickname for him in their little friend group.
Booker T. Washington?
No.
They call him Booker Hooker.
Oh, no.
I missed that.
If I remember right, it's when Millie gets into Butcher's body and like when he first
Yeah.
convinces them that it's him. I want to say they called him Booker Hooker.
That's terrible.
I might have misheard them, but they had. I feel like I want to say that's what they called him.
So at this point they're sharing a table in shop class. And I don't remember what the lead in. I think she was a little bit late.
She was late.
Wait,
And-
let's circle back real fast, because then before she gets to Shopcast, there's that weird, creepy guy who's just randomly yelling in the hallway.
Oh, the guy that barks at her.
Yes.
He walks. She's by her locker, and he just walks by.
Because we meet,
Bullying.
on her way to the shop class, we meet most of the victims of this guy, or of this killer.
This
Yeah.
guy sadly does not become a victim. I was hoping.
Yeah. But it's very clear that Millie's getting bullied from a lot of different angles, and there's no real.
Reason.
But
She's-
that's the thing. Bullying, it doesn't always have to have a reason. Mean kid's gonna be mean.
That's true. I would like to say I've never bullied anybody.
I'm looking at Adam. So we're in shop class.
Yes.
I am safe.
We're in shop class, and she was late, and Booker makes a comment that I feel like is very important later.
This comes back, because Adam missed this when we
Right.
Whoosh! Right over
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
Booker makes a comment like, I always set my watch 5 minutes early to make sure that I'm never late.
And I also do this. My clock in my car, it said 14 minutes into
And
the
you're
future.
still always late.
I am still always late, but it makes me feel better
Yeah.
when I am late, 'cause I'm like, I could be later than I actually am.
Yeah.
And this is where we meet the worst fucking character in this
The
movie.
war, he
Alan Ruck.
he deserved what he got.
Mr. Bernardi.
Sure,
Bernardi.
that sounds right.
Yeah.
So fucking terrible.
It's Rabbit from Twister.
Really, that's what we're picking up from, not Cameron from Ferris Bueller.
But I gotta admit, I really like Twister. My exact notes for this guy are Dick Teacher gonna die.
Yes, immediately.
Yeah, you could see that one coming a
I
mile
mean,
away.
oh my God. They're in the middle of one of the football players.
Yeah.
athletic students, presenting a doghouse project because it's wood shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, we could put a carpet here, put lights in there.
It's a really small doghouse, though.
It would fit one of our cats. And when Millie walks in, he has some snide comment about her being late and holding up class. Which, no, she's fucking not, asshole. You're holding up class by addressing the fact she's late.
Yes. And also, like, her dad didn't just die a year ago.
Leave this fucking girl alone. If this was a teacher in real life, his ass would be fired so fast.
Immediately!
His head would be spinning. He'd be on the street so quick.
Yep.
And then he tells her to present, and he says another snide remark. And she goes, well, you gave me until the 16th. It's only the 12th.
Yeah.
So I still have 4 days. My project's not ready. He's like, that's no excuse for your poor planning.
No, that's not an excuse for your bad teaching.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And then Booker under his breath calls him an asshole.
Yeah.
And then,
And then he says, do you have anything to add?
Yeah.
And he doesn't say anything. I really do come around on Booker, but I don't think they ever properly acknowledge his complacency in Millie's bullying. Because Millie's being bullied by
all his friends. Yes.
And the teacher in the class that they share together. It's like, what? And the movie never addresses how he's just a bystander in all of this.
Like, he just lets the shit happen to her. I'm like, if we're in this relationship, you're just going to let me deal with this?
At that point, they get an emergency alert, which is the craziest thing I've ever seen because I have never gotten an emergency alert about 4 teens being murdered.
Give it time.
Wait, okay. It's not.
If I'm not getting emergency alert push notifications about school shootings, then I don't expect to get one about a quadruple homicide.
But school shootings are America's new pastime. That's fine.
God.
Okay, but
they don't care about that.
In college, we did get an emergency alert about a suspect that robbed the CVS down the street.
Yeah, but that was different because that was a person that was near a school and on the run.
Maybe they knew Vince Vaughn was down the street.
And then we get a harsh jump cut to the football game that night.
Yes.
And what's happening to Millie?
Which is wild. She's getting bullied in this beaver costume.
Wait, no, doesn't it show her and her friends talking on that stage?
Oh, yeah. You're right. I missed that part.
Yeah.
I didn't have any notes about that.
They're having a little group powwow in the school auditorium on stage.
Having a little chit-chat.
Yeah, they're trying to convince her to go to homecoming.
Are any of them
she's
actually
saying homecoming's going to be canceled. They're like, absolutely not.
Nope.
And then it does.
Eventually, after more murders happen, but I think
is it more murders or is it the attempted murder on Millie?
No, it was more murders happened. But and that in that conversation that's happening in the theater, it's very clear that her friends are not viewing the butcher thing as a big deal yet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. No one's taking it seriously.
Get to the football game, and this is where I made a note about the jerseys, because that's the first time I noticed that Booker's last name is Strode.
Is it really?
His last name is Strode, and I was like, I gotta write down the name of every single person I see, and there was somebody wearing a Landon jersey, which I thought maybe was for the director, Christopher Landon.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
None of the other names came up when I searched for him, but Strode 100%. You can't just pull that name out of a hat when Laurie Strode is the biggest final girl.
Ever?
Probably. At this point in the movie, we do realize that Millie is the school mascot.
She's a beaver.
And it's the Beavers.
Which is embarrassing.
Which is not great. And continues to get bullied. At one point, the guy standing directly next to Booker says, "Hey, watch this," throws a freaking drink at her, and then says, "That's the only beaver I wouldn't touch," or something like that.
Yeah. But wait,
in the head with a can of
it's
soda.
not the one that ends up kissing
No, I think he was the one that she made that comment to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is my favorite line of this whole movie. When they're at the air hockey table.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he says the only beaver I wouldn't touch or something like that, and then the person standing on the other side of Booker says maybe if you put a bag over her head, which I hate this trend of casting traditionally beautiful women in roles like this and then just like, oh yeah, maybe if you bag her head, like,
But like,
no.
It doesn't make sense because she's not wearing glasses.
what made it also so frustrating is like she is conventionally gorgeous, right?
Yes.
But like in the sense of like Never Been Kissed, when we watched Never Been
Right.
Kissed, I was like, I can see why people are bullying Josie because Josie was horrifically awkward and
Yeah.
like just really not a great character to interact with.
and then when she goes back to high school, she puts on makeup that looks like she's dying.
She looks
Yeah.
even like it's like horrible, but like
Then
Millie,
she gets the makeover.
yeah, but Millie is like she's nice, she's sweet, she's like hopeful, she's not awkward. I guess she can interact with people in a normal sense. So I'm like, why?
Here's Millie's problem. She has a dead dad and she's still processing it. And people are treating her like she's a fucking freak for it.
I wouldn't even say she's still processing it. She seems to be working through it pretty well, or have worked through it.
It just, and I don't think that's ever why she gets bullied. It's always because of her clothes, her family's money, where her mom works, and then they call her ugly. I'm like, I don't get it.
It's like, what are we looking at?
But I do understand they had to cast somebody, and I think that casting Catherine Newton was the acting in this.
She plays a better serial killer.
Oh my god!
Like, she is so menacing.
It's
She has a good
awesome.
dead eye stare.
The Kubrick stare.
Yeah.
She
I
just
mean, we really get the Kubrick stare out of Catherine Newton, and I am here for it.
love it. And she was really easy. This was a really easy paycheck for her because once she becomes the butcher, she has very few lines of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
We get to the end of the game,
Yes.
and she's like telling her friends, like, mom's not there to pick her up. We, as the audience, we know why mom's not there to pick her up.
Yes, but also, not circling back, but like to bring up her friends just leaving her.
I hate
I
that.
would never. I'm a terrible friend. I would never. Like, I would
wouldn't
never
say that, but-
Okay, well, it's because you're my friend for 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
But like,
We don't want to get bullied.
okay. The point is, like, I
I'm
would.
scared to tell you you're bad.
I would never leave
No.
one of my friends.
No.
Like, I would never leave my friends alone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care how long we're waiting. I'm sitting here with you.
But it is scary
Like,
to be, especially when the sun starts going down or if it's raining.
Yeah.
It is scary to be stuck at school. Millie should never have decided to rely on the mom that she knew was unreliable.
Yes. And she also never should have let her cell phone battery get that low.
No,
Because
my
it
goodness.
was like,
Charge
And
that
why
shit.
didn't she take off the mascot costume?
yes!
Why was that going home with her?
Also, we never saw her bring it to school.
Yeah.
Unless
So
it was already
where wa-
at the school. So why didn't she take it off and,
and leave it there.
At the
Unless there
stadium.
was a throwaway comment about her trying to get the soda out of the costume.
They mentioned that Club Soda would take it out because there was like a stain on the back of the head.
Ooh, Club Soda again.
Yeah.
But like, even then, wouldn't the school be in charge of dry cleaning that?
I
Yes.
don't know.
Yes. The singing. So she's sitting there under a streetlight and starts singing to herself after her phone dies. She tries to get a hold of her sister. Sister kind of hears what's going on.
Well, I
So
think
I'm
she
stuck
figures
at
it
the-
out. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it's very obvious that Char knew. I'm like, mom was supposed to go pick up the sister. Now I got to go pick up my sister.
No. Because she also, Shar comes home and sees mom passed out drunk on the couch.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's when she realizes
And I think
was
she
supposed
calls,
to pick up
she calls
sister.
Millie.
Yeah, that's when we
Yes.
get the three. It was like
And the phone died.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
went from 3% to 0 very quickly.
very quickly.
But sitting under the streetlight, she starts singing to herself, which is so relatable. I think when we get scared, we try and come up with ways to
Comfort ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
and sees across the street. Who do we see? The
Michael
butcher.
Myers. Yes.
He's got the same mask he had when he killed those kids at the beginning.
Yeah.
But he's also got the knife.
yes.
Yeah.
And she goes, my sister's coming to pick me up. She's a cop. And she's got a gun.
And we made the joke of, oh, thank you for letting me know that you get, or she has a gun. I thought she just had a little club.
Oh, your sister's a cop. My apologies, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'll be going my own separate way.
Yeah. Very Michael Myers moment under the streetlight. But
Actually, you know what it was? It looked like the
Exorcist?
no, it was like the fucking that episode of SpongeBob.
Slasher?
No, where they're pretending to be crossing guards, and the maniac he's standing under the street light menacingly.
Oh.
Old SpongeBob never fails to hit.
Yeah, it really does. We were watching it last night. So
he starts chasing her.
Yeah, he starts chasing her, and she does manage to somehow wiggle through the locked gate, which he then just kicks.
He's
open.
so strong.
He's so strong.
What CrossFit exercising is this man doing? Because I want it.
Murder. Please don't pick that up.
Maybe, though, just to get the
I
upper
would like
body
for you to
strength.
not pick up murder as a CrossFit exercise, please.
His CrossFit is murder.
Yeah, it's murder. That's a great Halloween T-shirt. Murder is my CrossFit.
Can we make
Trademark.
that merch?
Trademark.
Can that be our merch? Murder is my
CrossFit is my CrossFit.
CrossFit
My CrossFit is murder.
Um,
And we just have a cartoon character of Vince Vaughn.
Yes.
she's hiding under the bleachers. She's trying to muffle her breathing. It's this great moment of building tension.
Because she is the world's
She
loudest
was
crier.
breathing. I put too loud.
Yes.
And I had forgotten what it meant, but now I remembered she was just breathing so loud, and I know that she was scared and out of breath, but
Then she does like the girl at the beginning.
yeah, she came out. She didn't
pops
stay
out of her
hiding.
hiding spot too early.
Yeah. Runs out to the middle of the football field and gets stabbed with the cursed knife.
Yeah, because
Yes.
he tackles her, and when right before he stabs her, it's like a full moon.
Yes.
Yep.
So I thought that was going to tie into it for a second.
And then
Yeah.
it like flashes to them being on the top of like Machu Picchu.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
I said Aztec Mayan weirdness. So then the sister shows up.
Well, before the sister shows
yes.
up, he actually stabs Millie.
Yes.
He stabs her in the shoulder, but at the
Yes.
same time, he gets the same wound in his shoulder.
Yeah, because he like reaches up for his shoulder and he sees the blood. And he's like, "Where did that come from?"
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The sister shows up.
And doesn't shoot at him.
Which I get because that's the thing. Doesn't shoot at him. I get that because you want to make sure your sister is not in the way.
That's what I said to her last night.
I'm accidentally shooting Jay. Sorry, Jay.
Shoots in the air. No, what cop shoots into the air? Because you have to account for every single bullet that you fire while you're on duty. Shoots 2 in the air. Stupid.
One or two, yeah.
Stupid.
Should've
And
just shot
then
into the
said,
dirt.
so Vince Vaughn, serial killer, runs off, and Millie is very dazed. So it's difficult to tell at first, but I think we can assume the switch has not happened yet.
Yes.
Yeah, the switch
Yeah.
does not happen until midnight.
Yeah.
Because the rules of the knife are at midnight, you'll be trapped in that body. So you have 24 hours. So
And it's like 9 o'clock when it happens. 11.
I'm not sure what time it is when it happens.
It's close to midnight.
But he also, when he runs off, he leaves the knife.
Well, actually, it probably wasn't close to midnight because then they took her to the station, got a statement. But I did want to point out the sister says, "Dispatch to my location."
Okay.
What?
The police in this have the most generic things that they say.
Don Knotts.
Yes.
Take your 1 bullet, Barney, and go to work.
Barney Fife. That
Barney
was his
Fife,
name.
yeah.
Come to my location. I got the butcher right here.
Grandma's going to love this episode.
So
That's for you, Grandma.
So they take Millie. Millie is extremely dazed. Millie even makes a point saying, I hurt him too. Or
Yeah,
something
it,
like
it
that.
hurt him too.
It hurt him too. And
But
we
you were
just
right.
see like a montage of Millie dazed.
And the
In
mom's
places.
dumbass running in, crying.
Yeah.
But this is another thing of like Abby just said, bad cops.
Yeah.
Why do they take her to the station, not the hospital?
Yes, where she was clearly stabbed.
They would
been
be
stabbed.
tending to that wound. They'd be running a trauma kit. They would be doing something instead of just here's a Band-Aid.
EMS maybe cleared her, but it seems like there should be more happening. Samples, something.
I feel like a couple kits are being ran here.
Hey, we're gonna
because
scrape-
this grown man tackled this teenage girl on a high school football field.
She was in a mascot costume. There was no getting in there.
Those things are impenetrable.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Except by a knife, as we learned.
Trust me. Have you seen those? The kids who wear those, virgins, all of them.
Jesus Christ. So then we see Millie taking a bubble bath with a wound. That was a weird choice.
And no, the weirder thing for me is she puts a dry washcloth on her face. That thing is bone dry, and she just puts it on her face and then pats it down. It's like, honey,
She's just like,
dip that thing in the water first, please.
like, I need to get the water off the skin, not add more.
I need to be more dry while I'm also wet in the tub.
Midnight happens.
Yeah, and she's tossing and turning in the bed.
Yeah.
And then once midnight hits and that goofy looking clock she had, that Erica said that we needed one.
Yes, I think we need a little squishy clock. I don't think the dogs will make it last long, but I want one.
If it looks like Coochie Kopi from Bob's Burgers, I'm all about it.
Yes.
Five Below, I'm sure they have some.
Midnight strikes, and I don't remember exactly what it shows Millie tossing and turning in bed. But it cuts to the next morning. She wakes up.
And she doesn't do her normal kiss to the poster thing.
She's looking around very puzzled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and gets up, and then this is very much layering in the creep. Because we know the premise of the movie. We know what's happening. Layering in the creep factor when the butcher, as Millie, sees themselves in the mirror, groping the chest immediately.
I got boobs.
Yeah. Then it cuts to Vince Vaughn waking up.
Well, no.
No, it comes back. I thought maybe it proceeded to breakfast, but no, it cuts.
Yeah, I thought the mom
back and
popped
forth.
in.
Oh, mom does pop in.
Yeah, because mom pops in before he gets out of the bed. We will now be referring to Millie's body as him.
Yeah.
But before Millie gets out
I
of...
like how you announced it like that, like a...
Well, because that's what they do in the movie.
Yeah, no, but
like,
but it reminds me of in soap operas, whenever they have like a character that changes characters, there's like an announcement of so-and-so is now being played by so-and-so.
Oh.
I've watched a lot of soap operas.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, the butcher, Vince Vaughn, is now going to be referred to as Millie or her. But yeah, so when he wakes up in Millie's body, he sits upright and he's got that menacing look, looking around the room. This is where we see the Pitch Perfect 2 poster. Mm-hmm. Millie's mom walks in, tries talking to him. You know, oh, you're up, you're awake. She thinks she's probably like in shock from the night before because she doesn't say a word.
I really don't like the mom at this point.
Frankenstein-like responses. It was weird.
Yeah.
But my favorite part of this scene is, without moving, still sitting there, the head, the serial killer look, just spits out her
Retainer?
no,
Yeah.
her Invisalign.
Yeah.
It just kind of...
When it first happened, I was like, what the fuck is that? Oh, Invisalign.
Yeah, no, because I remember she takes out, or you see a cut of her retainer in the beginning of the movie when she first wakes up in the beginning. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's there. And then when she spits it out, I was like, call back.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically we find out mom's making breakfast.
Yes.
Probably because mom feels guilty that...
She left her to die?
Yeah, drank themselves into a stupor and their kid almost died. Vince Vaughn wakes up and is just in the creepiest warehouse. Also, the worst hiding place because it's open air.
Yes, but also...
No windows.
This is also the most authentic reaction, I think, to a teenage girl waking up in a grown man's body
Yes.
I've ever seen in my life. Like...
What's wrong with my voice?
Yeah, she's like, what is going on? Why am I here? What is happening?
Where am I?
What is all with these dead animals?
This looks like a Slipknot fan's wet dream.
Oh, yes. Yes. It was just...
Yeah, because there's a hanging cat, mannequins. I think there's a head in a toilet.
I think there's also like a dead rabbit.
Yeah.
It really goes to show that Vince Vaughn is just murdering to murder.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The butcher is just killing for the fun of it. But it's funny because that homeless guy comes in. And
The homeless guy's a trip. I like him.
Millie is like, hey, when you look at me, because he goes, can I have some drugs? You got any drugs?
No, it's not even that. He's like, do you have any, oh God, what does he call it? He's like, do you have any, he's like, do you have any candy? She's like, no, I don't have any candy. It's like, oh, you don't have any drugs, anything?
Oh, okay. I think I remember what you're talking about. Yeah. And she's like, when you look at me, do you see like a girl, like a 5'6", blonde hair? And he goes, oh man, don't tell me you don't have any drugs. You're on some good stuff.
Yeah, he's like, don't tell me you don't have any drugs. I see you're on drugs.
And she runs away, and he has a great line of, wait, come back. I'll suck your dick. Beat. All of it. I think then we go down to breakfast, don't we?
Yep.
With the butcher?
Yep.
And this is the moment where I was like, I don't like this mom to the extreme. I'm already stressing out because my bacon and my eggs are too close to my French toast. Mm-hmm. And you're going to put syrup on it? No.
I don't like syrup on bacon, but if you put some syrup on some sausage, I'm happy.
I put syrup on my bacon.
I didn't start putting actual syrup on my food till I hit about 25.
But Millie's mom certainly used that syrup.
Yeah, liberally.
But the way he eats, he's just cramming everything in there.
Catherine Newton was acting like, I have never seen a knife nor a fork before. But then later on, we hear the butcher talk in full and complete coherent sentences, obviously has higher order thinking going on, eats like a caveman.
Like,
what?
I thought it was simply because this man probably just hadn't been fed in a while.
That's possible, but still bizarre.
I'm thinking he's going the Michael Myers route. He's probably just eating stray animals.
Ooh.
And now he's got a nice cooked meal in front of him. He's also about efficiency.
Yeah.
He's just shoveling the shit in.
So, like, watching Vince or Catherine Newton eat in this
It was
scene,
disgusting.
I was like,
I couldn't.
This is torture.
This scene didn't bother me.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? It didn't bother you?
All he was doing was shoveling food in his mouth without using utensils.
Disgusting.
It was horrid.
It was messy, but it was.
I would agree.
my terrifying.
Anyways, the knife
Yes.
gets pulled out of the. Well, Mom's cutting pineapple.
Yeah, because she mentioned something about how much you love.
In the wettest, messiest way. It is.
This mom did not go to culinary school because she's literally just slamming the knife down
But also,
on the cutting block.
She's not taking into account that her daughter was just stabbed
No.
the night before.
Oh, hey, honey,
a
do you have
juicy
knife
one.
trauma now?
Mom walks out of the room. Mm-hmm. Catherine Newton picks up the knife.
Because Char walks in.
Yeah. And
She got her back to her.
But also, what I love is
Scream vibes.
she was like, Vince Vaughn was like immediately like, I gotta kill. I hear this knife. Need a murder. Like, immediately.
Yeah.
But luckily, Mom steps in.
Right? She's like,
Grabs the
I'll
arm.
take this.
Yoinks the knife.
But she's like, oh, don't worry, honey, I'll put that away.
Yeah.
Oh, she was about to put it away all right.
Yeah, inside somebody.
Right in your daughter's fucking spine.
The serial killer is terrible at blending in the first scene that we see in this switch.
But you also have to take into account that they just woke up in a different person's body.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's...
Yeah, but it's like, you wake up in another person's body, and if you have the ability to have this higher thought, this higher thinking process, and then you immediately are like, I need to murder, instead of like, wait, let me take an account of where I am, who I am with, what am I doing.
I don't even mind the need to murder. It was the lack of responses, the caveman eating, and then we immediately get a sense of fashion. Goes to get dressed and is very these clothes suck. I'm gonna go into somebody else's closet, probably Char's, and
he wanted to wear pants. All Millie had were dresses
and cardigans, shirt to cardigan,
and tights.
He wanted some pants.
Yeah.
So he put on a nice leather jacket and some jeans.
I'm sorry.
And
also
lipstick.
took time to do makeup.
And not just like he got the lines in and everything.
It was good makeup.
Yeah.
He was exploring himself.
Okay.
He was looking into his options.
I wrote, he can't eat with a fork, but he can apply lipstick.
He did a good job.
Shows up to school. What song is playing in that slow walk up to school? There's a pep rally going on the day after.
But I like that she's just like, I don't care. I'm going to walk straight through this pep rally like there are no other entrances through the school.
Hilarious.
I like the fact that he enters the building and suddenly, now that Millie is wearing lipstick, pants, a jacket, hair pulled back, suddenly everybody wants to fuck her.
It's the immediate of glasses are off. She is now hot.
Yeah. Her glasses were her outfits.
Her glasses and her hair down, because apparently the ponytail and the lipstick is what made her hot.
That's it. But there's one kid that's got a tube of glue or something, and he squeezes it and just sprays glue everywhere.
Yeah. It's Que Sera Sera.
I don't know that one.
Uh-uh.
Y'all could look it up, but
I might recognize it.
Listeners, look it up.
It's literally translates to whatever will be, which I think is kind of funny. The lyrics are, Que sera sera, whatever will be, the future's not ours to see. Okay. And I think it and it's a very like light song
But
compared
also
to the fact that we know a murderer is walking into the school, and they do compare later him to a wolf in sheep's clothing, which I think is a great
metaphor.
It's perfect.
Yes.
Ryler shows up.
Yeah, because the friends
to ingratiate themselves.
The friends are in the corner. They're like, "Oh man, Millie looks different. Let's see what's going on here."
Yeah,
Also,
our
they're
friend
shocked.
was stabbed because we're bad friends.
Yeah.
Also, they're shocked that
Agreed.
she's back at school.
Yeah.
They're like, you were just stabbed last night, and you're back.
'Tis but a flesh wound.
Like, I feel like a school counselor would be like, "Hey,
No,
go home."
Yeah.
But I like that they're walking beside her, and Ryler is just running her fucking mouth.
Yeah.
She's like, "This is for Instagram Live. We know you were stabbed last night. We're sorry. Thoughts and prayers."
But I like the butcher just goes, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
And just keeps walking. And Josh and
Nyla.
thank you. Josh and Nyla are like, well, she was stabbed last night.
Yeah, maybe she's so mad at us because we left her to be stabbed.
She told them to go.
Yeah.
That doesn't make them bad friends.
This person that you bullied is acting really weird.
Yes.
Ryler has no sense of self-preservation. The butcher is like, come with me. And Ryler's like, okay.
Oh, yeah, because when she says fuck off, Ryler keeps following her
Yep.
and just yapping.
Yep. Also, we start to see Vince Vaughn at this point start to show up running through the town, also with no sense of self-preservation.
They have a suspect sketch of him on every TV.
Yeah, so starts to get recognized.
I want to talk about Vince Vaughn's run when he's Millie.
Vince Vaughn's acting in this is amazing.
I wanted him to channel Jack Black from Jumanji, and I felt like he got close, but not as close to the fire as I wanted him to be. Like, I want him to be, like, full, Martha, come look at my penis! You know, like...
He almost gets there.
He almost gets there, but he's just, like, not close enough.
His run is funny, though.
Yes.
Cut back to the Vince Vaughn, going back to the lack of self-preservation, starts heading towards the school. Because I need my friends to help me. So...
Which makes sense.
Yes. We cut back to Ryler and the butcher.
Yes.
In Millie's body. In the locker room. This is where Ryler thinks that, like, they're trying to get the story of what happened out of Millie.
Ryler's just being nosy. She doesn't really care about
absolutely.
Millie in the slightest.
No, because Ryler's a bitch. She's a 5 foot tall bitch.
5'1".
I was about to say, even if she is 5 feet, she looks so small.
She does.
Actress is
She's
tiny.
I looked it up. That actress is 5'1", and
So she's taller than us.
Catherine Newton is. I'm 5'1" on a good day.
We're the same height, Dave. We're 5 feet.
Taller
Last
than
time
you.
I went to the doctor, they said it was 5'1".
If
so-
you ever have to say your height is this on a good day, you're not that height.
All right.
Yeah, because I'm 5 feet, and my doctor gave me 3 inches for my hair.
Damn.
So she's really 4'9".
So, and Catherine Newton is 5'5". Just throw that.
Oh,
out there.
she's
So there's
5'5"?
There's only 4 inches of difference, but
That's
may
a
have
tall
been.
4 inches.
It could have also been a boots thing.
Okay.
I don't know what was going on footwear wise.
Yeah, the butcher was probably wearing some ass kicking boots.
Ass kissing boots.
Ass kissing boots. I got lipstick.
And this is where we get the cat and mouse thing I was talking about earlier. The butcher is like touching
things
her
in like
hair,
yeah,
and this is where we get the phrase clam jam. I didn't come here for a clam jam, and I went, I never want to hear that again, and I'm bringing it up now.
You said it twice.
Yeah.
But like what I like about that phrase is that is such, it feels like a Midwestern like phrase. I don't know if they have clams in the Midwest,
Good
but
old euphemism for sex is a clam.
Oh, Millie, I'm not here for a clam jam, my dear.
yeah. But it,
Good old fashioned hot dogging for me.
Oh, I hate this.
And then I'm gonna go get myself a nice pop when we're done.
it feels like a very Midwestern phrase.
That sounds like some shit they say up in Maine.
Oh.
Like I feel like Tim Walz is like signing off on
Maine.
this.
Maine is the Midwest of New England. Is that what we're going with? Sure.
Yes, them in Vermont.
I've heard of a clam bake before.
Yeah,
Used multiple ways.
Well, that's where a bunch of lesbians get together and get high.
Yeah.
Bake. I don't know.
No, I'm signing off on that.
Shout out to lesbians.
This is a lesbian positive podcast.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But no, the clam jam. But she grabbed, or he grabs a fire extinguisher.
I like he's like kind of measuring it to be like, could this fit? Could this work?
He's like, is this going to be strong enough to... No, this isn't good enough for her. I need something more creative.
And that's when we find out that the school has a cryo chamber.
Which is it? What funding does the school have?
Yeah, not funding the
Actually,
arts, but funding the sports.
Before we find out about that, the butcher walks in and finds Millie in his body taking a shower.
Yes.
Because that's
No.
because
No,
that's why...
Ryler finds it.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're
Ryler
right. Ryler finds the butcher.
Millie in the butcher's body taking a shower.
Yes.
Because he smelled like hot dog water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot.
but like...
She describes herself that way.
But Millie in the butcher's body. How are we describing this? Are we just calling her Millie?
Vince Vaughn.
You could just say Millie, Vince Vaughn, she.
Okay, so Millie is having like a shower, and she's having a good time in the shower too. She's like singing, washing herself up, having just like a baller time. And then Ryler walks up and is like, let me peek in on this grown man taking the shower
I'm
real
just like,
fast.
oh my God, it's the butcher.
Well, to be fair, she heard a shower going.
Yeah.
And the curtain was partially open, and she saw it was the butcher.
Yeah, but she hears the shower. Why is her immediate reaction is like, let me see who's taking the shower right now?
Yeah.
But this is where the butcher throws her in, and this is like the opposite of like a sauna. Because like if you get in like almost like an ice bath, but it's not.
Yeah.
This is, I'm not going to lie, her death for me was the worst death.
Oh, just because you don't like being cold.
I hate being cold.
You're cold all the time.
I mean, I'm in a hoodie right now. It's 86 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live with a little snow person.
No regrets.
Yeah. We see that happens, and then the butcher dips.
Well, the butcher finds Ryler's body.
Yes.
And when not the
Well,
butcher.
no, because
Damn it.
Yeah, right?
well,
It's complicated. Should we just say Catherine Newton when we're talking about...
No, I'm going to try to say Millie and the butcher, but I just keep fucking it up.
But okay, wait.
Because I'm not going to remember their full name.
Let's circle back real fast because Ryler sees the butcher sees Millie in the butcher's body washing her body, and she goes back and she runs into
The butcher.
and is like, "Hey, we have to get out of here."
Yeah,
there's
hide in here.
Yeah, there's somebody there, and then so the butcher's like, "Hey, get into this box."
Oh, but what's great is she's like,
Blocks it with a crutch.
You think
Yeah.
this is safe? No.
No.
Yeah, and then
Close it, crutch.
And it
Turns
says
it
it
down
as
to negative 300.
yeah.
The body freezes and then at that point, the butcher in Millie's body dips.
Yep.
And goes to shop class.
And then
Vince Vaughn
Millie
comes
finds
out.
her.
finds what's going. It's basically like don't know. Puts on this dirty clothes because there's no other.
Oh
clothes.
yeah, put those dirty clothes right back
dirty
on.
clothes back on the clean body. I don't know what that'll do for the smell. Sees the cryo chamber being blocked with a crutch. Takes it out. Sees Ryler dead. Ryler's body falls, or they like push and it falls and just shatters.
Yeah, and
I loved it.
It falls into like the most perfect segments.
Yeah.
I thought it was great that her hand is still holding her phone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a commentary. It's got to be a commentary on like how Ryler's like constantly trying to be tapped in.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I just love that Millie just like taps her shoulder and she just falls right down.
Yeah.
But like also, how does Vince Vaughn Millie know that she needs to go to shop class?
Does somebody say you're supposed to be in shop class right now?
I don't think. I think she just ends up there.
And the teacher reams the butcher out.
Yes.
Again.
And I'm like,
And
oh,
you
he's going to
know
get his...
the death is coming.
Yes.
I just love that. What's his face? Booker?
Yes.
Booker's working on a little project at the table, and he's trying to talk to the butcher, and the butcher's not responding, and he cuts his finger. And the butcher grabs his hand and sucks the blood off.
Yeah.
And it cuts to the teacher, and he's like, Jesus Christ, you'll do anything for attention, won't you, Millie?
Yes. And I'm like, my guy, once again, her dad died last year. Like, empathy.
Yeah.
Empathy.
Also, she was stabbed the night before.
Yeah. Yes.
This teacher is terrible.
He's so bad.
That being said, what? Like, I feel like Booker should have had a bigger reaction to someone that, admittedly, like, we kind of find out later he may have had a crush on, a little bit of a crush.
I like Booker for the sense. I guess we'll get to there.
Hot girl puts bloody finger in her mouth. I'm like, that is not hot to me anymore. You got to go. I got to go away from you.
That woke something up in Booker.
Yeah, Booker was like...
It explains what happens later.
I'm realizing some things about myself that I will soon realize more things about myself.
Yes.
Like, he's having awakenings in this 24-hour period for himself.
Cut to the butcher. No, not the butcher. Cut to
Millie?
Millie as Vince Vaughn. Showing up in the theater. Mm-hmm. Why aren't those kids in class? Who cares?
They were supposed to meet Millie there.
Or maybe they have like a free period.
Millie's supposed to be in shop class.
Yes.
So why were they meeting Millie there? Was Millie just cutting class? Yeah. So Vince Vaughn says the thing that every person in a body swap movie says, don't freak out. Don't freak out. And guess what they do?
They freak out.
Absolutely.
They panic.
Run into the cafeteria. What is the layout of the school? We don't know. The lunch lady
Screams and runs
she
away.
was like, I don't care about these kids.
dips. Absolutely dipped. There was no training done there. That woman had no first aid, no stop the bleed. This woman had no active shooter training at all. She left those kids.
What got
like
me
the
was
guy in Jurassic Park.
Not her.
No, what got me was,
Not her.
and Abby just kind of mentioned it, this scene kind of made me think of the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park. Because there's a scene where they're grabbing spoons and shit.
Oh, yeah. Found weapon.
It'd be funny if Millie's walking through in the butcher's body and gets to a counter and just starts tapping her toe.
Yeah. I could not find a straight answer of who was like the fight choreographer, or I don't think that's the correct term for a movie.
I don't think there's a fight choreographer for this film.
Stunt choreographer.
Stunt choreographer. Okay, thank you. I couldn't find who the head of the stunt choreography was, but the stunts in this, the fight scenes in this movie were spectacular.
Were they? Because there was moments where, like, or particularly not. It's not moments in this movie. It was like in this one scene particularly.
Yeah.
When the kid Josh, he was literally aiming for the Vince Vaughn, wherever Vince Vaughn was holding the pot lid.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, but at the same time, it was
a little obvious. I was like, I don't know about this.
That said, the choreography was tight.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been, then it would have been
super obvious.
Yeah. And every time Josh was swinging, Vince Vaughn was exactly on the mark that he needed to be on.
Yeah.
I really thought from beginning to end, I was very impressed with the fight scenes in this movie.
Like, I think maybe because this scene required it to be so precise that it was super noticeable when it wasn't hitting.
Yeah.
So I was like, there was some like moments where it was like particularly not hitting specifically with Josh. I was like, this is off. This is off. But
my favorite thing was when Josh threw a tray of tater tots at him.
Oh,
yes.
So
and
good.
she just goes, really?
Like, the moments when Vince Vaughn was hitting his teenage girl moments,
so good.
he was hitting them. But like,
I think we all. Is this the moment where he says something about this body's strong?
yes,
Yeah.
when he like yeets Nyla into like some
I
walls
was really
and stuff.
worried that Nyla had gotten hurt.
Oh, I thought it was when he threw Josh, and when he pushes Nyla into that counter. I also thought she was hurt because it went for slow motion for some reason.
It really zoomed in on the fact she hit the corner
of that
to
table.
her spine.
But
I was
then,
like, she's paralyzed.
But that's the point where he's like, all right, we've all hit each other a lot.
Calm down.
Can we stop?
But this is also the moment where I was like, I need to text my friends to be like, do we have a safe word just in case for body
Or a
swapping?
secret handshake.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention earlier when her friends left her at school the night that she was stabbed. They did a secret handshake, which was very involved. It was almost reminiscent of the Parent Trap.
Yes.
Yep. So
I thought they also did it right before the football game. Like when
they may have.
When we see them on that stage for the first time. I thought they did it there too.
They definitely did it when they left her.
Yeah. And this is where she does a little dance, and they ask her what's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
Pitch Perfect 2.
Yeah. Who do you have a crush on?
Right, and she says something, but she's like, that's not real. And I think this is where she calls him Booker Hooker.
Then the secret handshake.
And then it ends with like her doing a double snap.
Yeah, but it also ends up with her doing that dance from the
mascot.
Yes.
Yeah, starts with the mascot dance. And
Yes,
then,
it started with
then
that.
some questions, and then the secret handshake cemented it, and then they start freaking out. They start talking. Vince Vaughn starts explaining what happened, like from their perspective.
Yes.
She was stabbed with a knife.
Yeah, and it was a weird looking knife, and a quick Google search.
Oh, this is also when she's taking a piss. They're in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And you can hear her flopping the dick around.
And also, how did Nyla get into? Well, you know what? Never mind.
They make a comment about that too.
Oh yeah, because Josh is like, this was a boys' bathroom. Because Nyla says something snarky to Josh.
Yeah.
And he's like, no.
Vince Vaughn
Standing up to pee is kind of cool.
Yeah, standing up to pee is kind of cool, and the
I guess, like,
shaking off the last few drips.
Oh, but then she also says, "Do I have to wipe?"
Yeah. So in the bathroom, three in the bathroom, they do a quick Google search and find the knife. They find the name,
but they can't translate it
because they're and then we get this great line that made me think of you and made me so excited to come on this podcast and talk about it. You're in Spanish 3. You should be able to read it. It was so relatable for Nyla to say to Josh, "You're in Spanish 3," and for Josh to just not know it. I felt that in my soul.
We actually went past the butcher coming back to woodshop.
Oh, did we skip that part?
I think so.
I thought it was after.
It was after. My notes about the butcher coming back to woodshop. I think maybe there was a cut scene in between. A little bit of the butcher coming back to woodshop, but the kill didn't happen until after they talked to the Spanish 3 teacher.
Oh, I thought it was before.
I wrote my notes chronologically. I'm not trying to say you don't know anything.
No,
I don't have.
He has no notes.
I don't have notes. I'm going off my memory.
Pages of notes, y'all.
But no, I mean, I only watched the movie once, so I didn't get a chance to take notes.
Right.
If I usually watch it the second time for notes.
That's smart.
I liked when they go to the Spanish teacher. She's translating the writing on the blade because they have the image on the Google search. I just love how she's translating all of it, and they're like, could you tell us that in English? And she calls Josh out of like, "You're in my class.
Yeah.
You should know this."
Yeah, no.
And he's like, "But I'm dyslexic."
But that is very much our Spanish 3 teacher.
Yeah. That's when we find out about the 24-hour time limit.
Yes.
Because it was like written on the knife.
So from midnight when the body swap happens until midnight the following day, they have to get the one of the two characters has to stab the other again with the knife, and they will swap back. If not, they will be trapped in those bodies permanently, and Millie will be fucked.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did put a note here that says, "We just out here like gonna stroll around the school like I belong here," and I think that was in reference to Josh, Nyla, and Millie as Vince Vaughn walking around, just casually walking around the school like there was nothing to be afraid of, even though everybody at this point knows what the butcher looks like on site.
We missed the name of the knife, La Dola.
Yes.
It's a small dagger, white handle with a little skull on the end of the handle.
Okay.
I was trying to find a different word to not sound redundant. And it has like gems in the eyes. And when the butcher used the knife originally on Millie, the eyes were starting to glow red.
I would like to make a callback to the White Ranger dagger in Power Rangers Mighty Morphin.
The tiger?
Yeah, this is for Jeremy.
What was that? What was the name?
It was the White Tiger dagger.
Yeah, but didn't it have a name?
Not off the top of my head.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't remember. But yeah, this knife would be going, kill.
Yeah, it's like the evil version of the White Tiger dagger in Power Rangers Mighty
Naughty
Morphin.
Wackus Bonkus.
Because it's
Season 2 specifically.
It's a sacrificial dagger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They used to specifically use it for killing.
Yeah.
And if
it doesn't kill, it body swaps.
Right.
Which is a weird thing to have as a side effect, I would like to say.
Hey, you better get this sacrifice right. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck.
Yep. Now we get back into shop class.
But then I also feel like we get this information, and there is no lack of urgency.
No lack of urgency or no urgency?
There's no urgency in the movement. Like, they're kind of like...
They're strolling around the school.
Yeah.
Like nobody's going to recognize the butcher.
That, and also they're like, hey, we only have 24 hours. 18 of the hours have passed already.
Yep.
Let's just keep going.
Well,
Yep.
they can't just go running around the school. Do you know how loud an empty hallway is
So
in a
loud.
school?
Yeah.
If you're just running around, and Vince Vaughn's huge.
yeah.
He's also a stranger.
Yeah, it's also that, but it's also like, hey, I know that the knife is with my sister in this police agency. Yeah. Maybe like
Police precinct.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know what I mean. But it's like my sister only
Police agency.
It's actually not even a precinct. It's just a station.
It's like
Yeah.
I feel like we could have easily convinced the sister to get the knife.
They never try to convince Char. Now I'm calling her a Chair. They never try to convince her that any of this happened. She's not really part of it, which seemed kind of like a misstep.
Yeah, because like I feel like the sister, they know, like Jay has information on me that no one else has, right? So it's like Char would also theoretically have information that Millie only has.
Yeah. And
So
that,
it's like-
that does kind of come up later, but
Sorry about the beagle.
Yeah. So it's like
They just don't do anything with it.
hamster.
But when the butcher goes back into the shop class,
Beautiful scene.
it's again. Butcher's-
it's well deserved.
Oh my god, so deserved. But the butcher is like, I love that he's also taking care of all of Millie's bullies. It's great.
Yes, everybody that came in, he was like, you know what, deserved it.
Right. But he goes in, he puts on a shop coat.
Yeah.
He puts on some safety goggles. But he turns on this big table saw, and the teacher's like, turn that off. He pulls out
Screwdriver.
a screwdriver, and they get into a brawl.
Yeah, and then he like yeets Millie over the shoulder and is like, self-defense. I'll meet you in the principal's office.
Yeah. Yeeting someone over your shoulder and throwing them to the ground, that's borderline excessive. And then like the butcher
kid had a
gets
weapon.
Yeah, the butcher gets up. I mean, I'm just saying, do what you need to do in that instance. I'm not dying because I'm told block and defend myself. Block and move back.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Fuck that kid.
I'm not dying. But he then, like, the butcher attacks again, makes a comment about the really weak body.
Oh, is this where we get the comment?
Yes.
Okay.
About the weakness in the body.
Fucking body.
Then the teacher shucks the butcher off again and proceeds to kick Millie's body.
Because that's when he went toward the door.
Yeah.
When he said he made the principal comment.
Yeah.
That's when the butcher jumps on his back.
Yeah.
And he slams her against the wall.
At this point, I'm pretty sure Millie's suffering from internal bleeding. Like,
Weak, twiggy body.
After they swap bodies at the end, they're like, we really need to get you to the hospital. Your liver is bleeding and your kidneys are popped.
like Millie's not waking up to fight the butcher in that second fight.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, the teacher gets on the back like Princess Bride style. Tries to stab or Chucky, if you will. Tries to stab the teacher in the neck with the screwdriver. The teacher, it manages to get Millie off, or the butcher off again, off of them again, and starts kicking them while they're down. That's where I'm like, you're gonna go to jail.
He kicks the shit out of this kid.
It really does. It's like, this kid's not getting up again.
But also, this kid could have gotten him fired 10 times over because he said all that awful shit to her in front of a room full of people.
Right.
Witnesses.
She just needed one person to back up her story.
And honestly, it would have been
teachers
Booker.
Get fired for less.
I've seen
saying.
I've seen teachers get fired for doing things before they became teachers.
Damn.
Yeah. So then the teacher turned their back on the butcher again. And this is, never let your guard down. Never let your guard down. You back out of that room with your eyes on the prize. Then gets stabbed in the neck with the screwdriver.
Because
And it's
no. It's not because he turned his back. It's because he got down real low next to her on the ground after he kicked him. and he was talking shit.
That was it. Yeah.
And this might be a conversation about hubris. This teacher was too big on himself because he was like, there's no way this tiny girl is going to get me. Because he was like, every time he got her, he was like, I'll meet you in the principal's office.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see you later. I'm getting out of here.
That just goes to show you don't need a Michael Myers or a Jason Voorhees. You can get a Chucky. You can get a Gage. And it can still be terrifying because it's little but mighty, man. Then the teacher pulls the screwdriver out.
Shouldn't have done that.
Don't pull
No.
Steve Irwin moment.
I said that when he pulled the knife out. I was like, you should have left that in.
I wrote it. Don't pull objects out. If you get stabbed with something, just quick PSA from somebody who's first aid certified.
Quick PSA for someone PSA from someone who's, been alive with Steve Irwin. Leave it in.
Yeah, don't pull. If you get stabbed with something, don't pull that object out. Leave it in as best you can.
That blood just starts spraying.
Oh my God.
And then, remind me, does he collapse onto the table saw?
He does.
Yes.
He collapsed onto the table, but he's
And
not
then
at the saw.
No.
It turns into a scene from Walk the Line.
Oh, God. The wrong kid died.
With Johnny Cash?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I know the movie.
Great
I haven't
film.
seen it.
Johnny
So
Cash's
good.
little brother got killed by like an old table saw.
So good.
But-
Table saws are dangerous.
But he collapsed onto this table, and the butcher, always thinking safety first, puts on his safety goggles
Yeah, it's great.
OSHA.
and proceeds to push the teacher through the saw,
Yeah.
bisecting him straight down the middle.
What
And
I
it does
love-
show it. It's one of the most graphic scenes in the movie. But again, the setup is so... You can see that it's coming as soon as that table saw gets pulled on. It becomes, and for any theater people out there, it becomes Chekhov's table saw. Like, we know it's going to happen. We just don't know when. And loosely.
Well, you also know it's going to happen because they show this in the trailer.
Yes.
But like,
They gave away
but
this kill in
you
the trailer.
you can easily cover your eyes to get away from that gore.
but like
yeah.
also, it's coming because there's the goggles, and then they also put on the lab coat.
yeah.
So you're like, this man or
Man,
this individual knows that I need to follow safety, lab safety.
Yes.
I don't want to get blood on my clothes.
Yes.
But also, I love that when the teacher goes through the saw, it's very clearly a dummy.
Yeah. Oh, it's split too evenly.
I love the practicality of it. They don't try to use CGI to hide it. It's a straight dummy. I love that so much.
Yep. And you can see all the bits and bobs inside it.
It's great. It's great. And it's not on screen for too long.
No.
They don't linger on it,
and
which is
it's
what I
not-
like. I can handle little gore.
and there's not a lot of
We're
blood.
not talking about like is it Dario Argento?
Oh, the Italian director?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's like mega gore. You're not talking about something like Saw movie.
Yeah.
This is quality horror comedy gore.
Where it's quick, it's easy, I'm out.
Yep. Butcher exits the shop class
Yes.
and runs into the three protagonists.
Well, first two cops pass by.
Who are,
Oh, I missed that.
they are
Yeah.
definitely the Barney Fife of this situation.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
No, the sister's the Barney Fife.
no.
All the cops were Barney.
these
It was
two-
an entire department of Barneys.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yes.
terrifying. Just a bunch of Barney Fifes.
Just a
running
bunch of
around.
Barney Fives.
We ought to get the butcher.
We end up with a standoff where they're saying, like, stop right there. And then we see the smartest move that the butcher makes in the entire movie. Starts screaming.
Because
Yes.
they also say, don't. No. Like a dog.
Yeah.
Don't. No. Bad butcher.
Murray, stop it.
The butcher in Millie's body starts screaming, help, it's the butcher. It's the butcher.
Yeah, she sees them immediately. She's like, I gotta get out of this
Yeah.
self-preservation.
Yep. The cops start chasing Vince Vaughn, Nyla, and Josh. The cops say a line that just once again brings me back to, can any cop in this town do their job?
No.
Because instead of giving an actual description, there's a hilarious scene where they're trying to get out of the parking lot and the car's not starting
At all.
and the Josh ends up sideswiping another car. Like, it's hilarious.
Loses his front bumper.
Yes. The cop says, suspect spotted in a shit heap. Instead of giving a license plate, a description of the car,
a color,
Blue four-door Chevy hatchback.
who's in it.
And is this the part where we see like the butch? They're like, it's the butcher, a black teen, and an enthusiastic or a boy that seems excited.
It's very similar to that. It's very similar to that.
Is that the part where it comes up?
I want to say it's around here
it?
somewhere.
Yeah.
They drive straight past the only other cop in this town,
Char.
And she recognizes, she's like, oh, Josh drives a shit heap. Let me start following. Oh, that looks like Josh's car.
There's no other blue car in this town. Let me drive past this one.
Uh-huh. And, well, let me try to catch up to that one.
Yes.
And this is where they duck off into the... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. When they first get in the car and they're trying to make their getaway, Millie's like, Nyla, can you move your seat up just a little bit? Move your seat up. Nyla, I'm sorry. Can you move your seat up just a little bit more? And she does this like a little too much. It's like 4 times the rule of 3. Do it 3 times.
Yeah.
And then they do the chase. They run past Char. And they pull into the what looks like a mall parking lot.
The discount bargain shop.
Thank you. And they run inside and they hide Millie in the changing room.
Yes.
And they tell her, hey, don't come out until we come get you.
Don't come out till we say so. Mm-hmm. And they go around, and this is when we realize that this is the place where Millie's mom works.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even recognize it was her mom immediately until halfway through this conversation.
Yeah, like literally, it was the end of the conversation. I was like, oh, that's her mom.
Yeah, it was bad.
I recognized it.
I had no fucking idea. I was just like, oh, this nosy employee.
Well, I recognized it because I remember from Ryler, she was like, oh, your mom works at the discount bargain center. And
Yeah, bitch,
like,
my mom does. You got a problem with that? My mom's got a job.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, when we got there, I was like, we're probably running into Millie's mom somehow.
I didn't
and then
even
it
think
ended
about
up
it.
so
Yeah,
much
so-
more awkwarder than I thought it was going to be.
It was
Millie's mom walks
goofy.
up, tries the door to the changing room and realizes it's locked, and immediately starts apologizing because she didn't realize that anybody was in there. Here's Vince Vaughn, starts talking to him through the door, and of course, you know, she doesn't know that this is her daughter in the body of a serial killer, so doesn't know it's a serial killer.
As, you know, one would expect.
Doesn't know it's her daughter being Freaky Friday. Just starts asking
Trauma dumping on
what are
him.
you looking for? And they get into a conversation about polos, and she starts trauma dumping about her dead husband. Which, like, I get needing to talk it out. Maybe don't talk it out with a stranger
that's behind a locked door.
at your work.
That could presumably be clothless.
When a serial killer is loose.
Like, maybe if you were in Old Navy, maybe. But everyone's going through trauma at the discount bargain store.
No one goes through trauma at Old Navy. That's why they go to Old Navy. They're celebrating.
So the conversation continues. Millie is like trying to be a therapist.
She is.
And doing a great job. Was it kind of like, you know, the mom sharing this story about buying a pink shirt for her ex-husband?
Yes.
And he,
Dead husband.
dead husband.
I guess he
And-
would be her ex-husband at that point, yeah.
And Millie is...
I mean, in a way.
Millie's like, I bet that was his favorite shirt. Mom then...
Ask hers out on a date.
Yeah, asks Vince Vaughn out on a date. And then Vince Vaughn is like has to come up with some sort of excuse.
Where she immediately, like, turns her down.
Yeah.
And then
it's like, oh no. And then the mom's like, oh my gosh, that was so inappropriate. I'm so sorry. And they're like, no, I would love to take you to dinner. I would love to take you to dinner. And then it starts like amping back up like Millie is going to take her mom on a date in the body of the butcher, and then is like, but I'm married.
Right? Because
This
it's
was
like...
so unnecessary
It was
and awkward.
so creepy and so awkward and
But-
very cringy. But
All she had to say when the mom suggested the coffee thing, oh, I'm gay.
I'm married.
Or I'm married. Just,
No, thank you.
no, this was lovely, though. And move the fuck on.
Right, but, like, the fact that Millie had to, like, bring it up escalated to, like, being like, I would if I could. And then be like, but I can't.
Right, and then this is where Char walks in. He's like, have you seen Millie? Call Millie. The killer was spotted here.
I know we talk about Char being a bad cop. But
she's a good sister. Bad cop, good sister.
Yes. Like, the cop to sister ratio is skewed in the sister portion, but the cop is still there, unfortunately.
Nyla and Josh run in, and they throw a mask over the door.
Yes.
Who was it?
I don't know.
Someone from the Green Bay Packers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my gosh, yes, it was.
Your dad would hate this.
But it's so fucking funny because...
My dad, notorious Pats fan.
Nice.
Would hate this.
But it's funny because she puts the mask on and she can't see, and she's running into everything and everyone.
Yes. Every obstacle that could be there, Millie's hitting her way on.
Everything. But she just runs into fucking everything. They make it out. They make it back into the car. And she keeps trying to pull the mask off. And you're like, no, leave that on. Even though she looks just as suspicious with the mask on.
Yeah, but for me, like, her with the mask on, I'm like, oh, this is just a really bad plastic surgery job.
I like how they don't try to buy her new clothes.
Yeah.
Like, no, just keep on these dirty hot dog water smelling clothes. Just put on this Aaron Rodgers mask. It's so much more conspicuous.
One would think that we're still, I don't know, maybe in like a recession. So they're like,
Well, there was a shirt in the changing room.
Oh yeah,
Right,
that's why she said she was looking at polos.
I thought that at that point we were going to see a costume change, but no, just Aaron Rodgers and then the mask had the thickest neck, and it was just flopping loose.
Vince Vaughn has one outfit in this entire movie.
one outfit.
It is
It's covered in blood.
It's covered in blood. It's black jeans, black boots, a long sleeve shirt under a short sleeve shirt. And now he's got an Aaron Rodgers mask.
To be fair, a lot of the characters only had like 2 outfits, maybe 3.
But we see them over the course of multiple days.
That's true.
Over the course of these multiple days, Vince Vaughn still only has the one outfit on.
I wonder if it ever got washed or if
I doubt it.
They just wanted it to keep getting dirtier.
I'm sorry, you meant the actual outfit in real life.
Yeah.
Then yeah. I imagine it was multiple costumes. But also, I like to think that Vince Vaughn's character is just raw dogging in these jeans. There's no underwear under there.
Oh, God. At some point, the butcher gets taken to... It's an arcade? It's a mini golf place that also has an arcade.
Neon lights everywhere.
Yes.
With like 4 guys, or maybe they just show up there. But there's like 4 or 5 guys from the football team there.
Because they're trying to figure out... I don't think we see the butcher go there.
Yeah, but they're like, Millie's cool now. Let's hang out with her.
Yeah, Millie put on lipstick and pulled her hair back so we can hang out with her.
But also, presumably, because she is a quote-unquote dude, she can now talk dude.
But she never really talks
She doesn't.
dude.
No.
But,
Flirts.
But
Pretends to flirt.
they find where he is, he being the butcher, because someone's got him on their Instagram. Like, all right, my body's here, so we're going to go there. But it's a great thing because it's Booker and 2 or 3 other guys from the team.
Yep. Including, hold on, I think his name, I saw it in the cast list. One of the characters in this movie, the last name is Turnipseed.
Really?
His name is like Tim Turnipseed.
The actor or the character?
The character.
To be fair,
Like, what?
To be fair,
That's so
I knew a guy back in elementary school. His name was Turnipseed.
Seriously?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
And he was like the tallest.
I'm looking right at it. Yeah.
Tim
Turnip
Turnipseed.
Seed. Played by Zach Shires.
Don't think Tim Turnipseed was one of the football players. I'm not sure when that character came in or left, but like Phil was definitely one of the football players. Phil, and then
Of
I
the
see
future?
Squee, Squi, Squee, Tobin, and Brett. I think those were the 4 other than Booker.
Okay.
Oh.
I just want to point out, because I made a note about it, the actor who plays Phil is... it doesn't even have his birthday. The man looks 30.
Which one's Phil?
As 32-year-olds, please tell me what he looks like. Yeah, you're fair.
Is that
That's
the one
right.
that tries to kiss Josh?
Yes. And he has a beard here, and he didn't in the movie. But still, I said two-thirds of these men look 30.
They did look like old high school.
They are adults.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like everybody in this movie was adults playing teenagers.
Well, Booker has to be.
Yeah. And we get that beautiful, beautiful line when the
Tim Turnipseed is the guy that barked at Millie.
Why did we give that guy a name?
He didn't get a name in the movie, so
Well,
he's
he
just
comes
barking.
back and gets, terrorized
And
by.
actually, we totally went right past that scene. In the high school, when they're wandering around to go talk to the Spanish teacher, Millie is in the bathroom in a stall, and
I
she
forgot
sees
about that
she
scene.
sees all the shit written on the stall. One of them is Millie
Is a cock gobbler.
is a cock gobbler. And she goes, I'm not a cock gobbler.
Going back, because there was a scene between, I want to think, the Spanish teacher and the shop scene, where Millie's, as the butcher is hiding in the bathroom, sees the note, and then hears somebody come into the bathroom, and they bang on the stall door, and are like, hurry up, I need to
It's like, hurry up, nerd, I need to take a dump.
Yeah.
But it's great, because when she stands up, she is towering over the stall door.
Yeah.
And
A
he's
circumstance I can never relate to.
no.
This is when she realizes, like, exactly how strong she is, because she picks up Tim Turnipseed, puts him against the wall, and is like, don't bully Millie. If you bully anybody again, I'll find you.
Yeah.
And
But
then
she can't swear. She can't just say, I'll fucking kill you. She's like, your stupid face or some shit like that. She can't actually, it's very unthreatening what she says.
Which is wild that she can't swear. Like, as a person that swears...
she does swear later.
obnoxiously, Yeah.
Does swear later.
Oh, she absolutely does later.
Tim Turnipseed pees his pants.
Yeah. she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I completely forgot about that scene.
I did too until we talked about Tim Turnipseed.
Turnipseed.
But she even asked him, she's like, did you pee your pants? He goes, yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, but I think
Ew, and like drops him.
Yeah.
I think this is the moment where she's like, this body's strong.
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We already talked about that. That was when she accidentally beat up Josh and Nyla. But she realizes how strong the body is, and she uses that to her advantage here.
Yep.
But that we totally missed it. That was before the car chase, before the mall, all that.
Going back to the arcade / mini golf place,
Mm-hmm.
the just general fun center. I think it was called something fun center.
This is my favorite line of the movie in this scene.
I can't even remember it properly. I feel like I need to... You start describing it, and I'll see if I can find the exact quote.
So the butcher is standing around the air hockey table. One of the football players is by her. Booker and the tall guy are on the other side. And he says something about they're going to... the butcher suggests they have the homecoming dance, because homecoming has been canceled at this point.
Yes.
At the mill.
Yes.
And the football player's like, that's a great idea. And he touches Millie's ass. And he like leans over and he says something to her. And the butcher leans over and says...
I do want to preface this. I found the exact quote. I'm going to let Adam say it because it's beautiful. But I do want to preface
favorite
this
line of the movie.
with the person that this is being said to is not black. And you'll see why I need to...
Oh, yeah, it's very important that the character is white. But, so, this guy touches the ass, and the butcher just goes, your touch makes this pussy as dry as sandpaper, you fucking monkey. I can't wait to kill you.
I completely forgot. That,
I just love that you make this pussy as dry as sandpaper. Love it. But
it's such a good
I
line.
didn't do it justice, because at the end... I can't wait to kill you line. She like runs her finger across his chin, and she's like kind of walking away. I think.
Yeah, she's like, I can't wait to kill you.
It's so fucking good. I love it.
I hope that comes up.
And then he's just standing there, kind of stupid, and he goes, "Oh yeah, she wants me."
Yeah,
'Cause the other guys couldn't hear it.
He's so embarrassed.
Yeah.
He's so
Of
embarrassed.
course he would be.
And then the butcher walks into the mini golf place, and it's like one of those, if you've ever been to a low budget indoor mini golf place, it does a lot of like blacklight work.
Yes.
This one is horror themed, haunted house themed. There's a sign on the wall that says, I'll tee you in hell, and I wrote it down because
You're like, I love it.
I didn't
what
even
a
notice
pun.
that. Also,
What a
though, before
pun.
the butcher walks in there's a random box knife he grabs.
Yeah, don't know where the box knife came from. But then Booker follows, and we're like, oh no, Booker's gonna die.
Okay, in Booker's defense, Booker's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. We learned that later, but like, Uriah Shelton I hope I'm saying that name right, but did a great job in
Booker's
this
a
role.
fucking idiot.
Booker's a fucking idiot.
Booker And I don't know if this is intentional. Booker's like whole role in this is the damsel in distress.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, it is.
He is.
Like he serves to be either a problem for everybody else or just to be saved.
Yeah.
Like he is not. He's a victim this whole time. Like he's this close to always being killed.
Because even in the final act in the mill, he's not one of the main ones. I don't even know where he is in that moment.
Booker, he's everywhere and distractingly everywhere. Yeah. Like he is like, please just stay in your corner, and he never does.
It's like we're gonna go there, we're gonna catch the butcher, get my body back. Oh shit, Booker's in the way. We gotta save Booker.
Exactly.
So that's basically what happens. They walk Josh, Nyla, and Millie walk in and see on a closed circuit television that Booker and the butcher are alone.
In this mini golf course, which looks like a fucking maze.
Vince Vaughn says the line, divide and survive. What?
I mean,
logic.
While grabbing a golf club.
To be fair, they're going to confront a known serial killer.
Yeah.
So the divide and survive is like, hey, we may not survive this because you are two children and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But they already have the advantage, as we've learned already. He's in Millie's body.
Right.
He's not as strong as he normally is.
That's true, but they're like, he still knows, murder.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he knows how to.
He's a 100% killed more people than I have. So.
So there's another
300% at this point.
There's another fight scene. Sorry.
I've watched you play Hitman.
You watch you play LA Noire, so.
Oh my God.
There's another fight scene, and they end up. Booker gets knocked out. And the butcher gets knocked out too.
How does the butcher get knocked out, Abby? It's fucking great.
Go ahead and. This is where I go back to the whole. My memory is like a can of spaghetti.
Fucking Millie tees up and she smacks her own head with a golf club and knocks the butcher out. I forget. When
she hits her own head,
she smacks the butcher in the head with a golf club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I probably said that wrong.
Millie as,
but I think she also. I think she also knocks out Booker. I think when she crashes to the wall, she hits Booker.
Yeah,
I believe.
and then they have to carry Booker to the house.
So they take both bodies, who are still alive. I won't say bodies. Takes them both to Josh's house. And that's very important because Josh's mom, we find out later, is a flight attendant.
Yep. Josh's mom's a real one. She knows her kid.
Yeah. Josh's mom's out of town. Dad
won't be back till tomorrow.
Dad's not in the picture.
I don't remember about Dad.
Yeah.
He could be a pilot for all we know. We don't know.
I don't know.
Dad's never mentioned, but mom is out of town. So, and won't be back until the next day or a few days later. I don't remember. They tie up the butcher in a chair.
With not enough fucking rope.
With truly just the hands. Not enough rope.
Don't even tie the hands to the chair.
No.
They literally just tie them to each other behind his back.
And you would think someone would tie some legs of
I don't
known
know
color.
if the legs were tied, but
they were not tied.
The only thing that was tied were his wrists. They should have tied the arms together. They should have tied the body to the chair, the legs to the chair.
Honestly, they should have gagged from the beginning.
They should have just...
Yeah. So
they know this guy's a fucking maniac.
Booker... They kind of talk about what to do. Booker wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's freaked the fuck out.
But
Vince
also
Vaughn's
he's
sitting
like
on
curled up on the couch.
Yeah, Vince
really
Vaughn's
cute.
sitting on the coffee table is the first face that Booker sees when he wakes up. And he's like, hey.
But also, right before he wakes up, they're like, oh, he's even beautiful when he sleeps.
Yeah. So then we get into a trust me kind of thing.
Yep.
In which Catherine Newton is saying, like, crying, pretending to be Millie.
The butcher. He's the butcher. He's crazy. They tied me up.
Yeah. But keeps going, Booker. But because of the voice that she's using, it sounds like she's going, Booger.
Yes.
Booger, please.
Help me, Booger.
Help me, Booger.
What is this, Revenge of the Nerds?
Ugh.
There's a character named Booger in that movie.
Never seen it.
Then, in order to, because there's no secret handshake here, in order to convince Booker that the man is Millie, he starts quoting this poem, and we're like, what the hell is he talking about? But it's this long poem, and Booker like calms down, starts listening, and we're like, what is happening? And it's revealed that the week prior, Millie had slipped a poem that she wrote
into
his locker and didn't sign it. And admittedly, Booker like talks later about how he was initially freaked out, but it was a really nice poem.
Yeah, he was like, I read it repeatedly. Like, I really liked it and thought it was really nice. I was like, oh my God. Really?
And then we get the real reason this movie is rated R. Because the butcher says, what a pathetic cunt.
Yeah, it really just
drops it.
Flips and I even put like Vince Vaughn's act. I wrote when the poem was happening, Vince Vaughn's acting is A+, and then when that happened, Catherine Newton's acting is A+. Because my God, that was such a good.
Oh, she really put the k on it.
We felt that.
It could be specifically because I don't know. For me, like when anyone says the C word, for me, it's like something about it is so triggering.
Oh, I like it.
No, like it.
I'm not gonna say it here, but I like it.
It hits me on a visceral level. I'm like, like
you wouldn't make it in Australia.
I would not. I'd be like, oh, all right, I gotta
go. I will admit, like I am, and maybe it's because I was in a production of the Vagina Monologues in college, and
was wild.
I got the entire crowd chanting that word. Now that was a good feeling.
When I tell you, I had a moment.
Oh, I'm always in support of that word.
Yeah.
But this is where they come up with their plan.
Yes.
Yep.
They're like, all right. Oh, they also gag the butcher with a sock.
Yes.
Yeah. They finally get. Which, to be fair, they needed to. One, script-wise, they weren't supposed to, but they needed to leave. If you wake up in a room with a serial killer, two people that you're not friends with, and someone that maybe you have a crush on tied to a chair, and they are gagged, that's worse than what happened.
Yeah.
You know, because then they don't even have a chance to, like, yeah.
You gotta let the butcher dig his own hole.
Yeah.
Because at some point, he's gonna slip up and say the wrong thing.
Yeah, but also still being said, he should have been gagged from the beginning.
Yeah. I wrote down Josh is 100% gonna die. I was very convinced in that moment.
No, I believe it.
For the most part, only assholes die in this movie.
Yeah.
But their plan is they know where the knife is. It's in the police lockup at the station because Millie saw it get locked up the night she got stabbed.
Right.
So they need to get into the station, get the knife, come back to Josh's house, and Millie needs to stab the butcher before midnight. And
Your New York is coming out so hard in this.
what are you talking about? No.
You hear it, right?
Oh, Lord.
Ask them to say two.
No, don't. Is it Nyla, Booker, and Millie
Yep.
jump in the shit heap
Yep.
and they head to the police station?
Yep.
Yes.
They tell Josh he has to stay.
Yeah, they're like
because it's his house and his mom's gonna be
the
not coming home. So it's like it's his house. You have to stay, and Josh, not Josh. No,
No,
yeah,
it's
that's
Josh.
where I
Yeah,
wrote-
it's
that's where I
Josh.
wrote Josh. I don't know why. Oh, because Uriah Shelton's character in
Oh, and Girl Meets World
Girl
is
Meets
Josh.
World was Josh.
Yeah.
That's why I got confused by my own notes. Yeah, I thought Josh was going to die in that moment. And in a different movie, that definitely would have happened.
Yes.
But is not excited about having to stay behind. And as we see later, chooses to spend this time watching Bravo.
Was it Bravo?
Yeah, it was Bravo.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, so yeah, Nyla, Millie, and Booker head in the shit heap to the police station.
And of course, the only cop there is Shar.
The only one who needs overtime, apparently.
So Nyla's going to go in and cause a diversion and break into the evidence locker, which is the tiniest evidence locker I have ever seen.
It's also just a cage with a locked door. It's not like behind another
No.
security
You know
point.
what this police station reminded me of?
No.
The police station in Blazing Saddles.
It was a very, like, I guess small town, but like that was pretty small.
It was like the same dimensions, if we're being honest. It was the jail cell, a desk, evidence locker.
I'm just curious as to how a town this small had funding
For 6 officers? Yeah.
Well, they also
for a
had
cryo chamber.
They had a cryo chamber. 2 of them, by the look of
it's
it.
the
And that
South,
rich ass girl in the beginning.
That mansion that the 4 kids got killed in.
which also it's also confusing because they also had time for woodshop.
Yeah,
We're not funding the arts here.
They
so.
really this is a I don't
The
yeah.
English department is using the same books from 1800s.
Yeah.
Well, their plan is for wait for all the cops to leave. There'll be 1 cop left in the station.
Yep.
Nyla's going to go in, and she's going to seem like she escaped from the butcher.
Mm-hmm.
And while
Say that the butcher is in the back.
yes, behind the dumpster, he followed her there.
Yeah.
Shar is going to hopefully go out and look, and in that time, she's going to unlock the evidence cabinet, grab the knife, make her way out. But Shar comes back in too soon, and in this moment, Josh's mom comes home. Her flight got canceled, so she came home early.
Yes.
Meanwhile, like cut in between these scenes are scenes of Booker and Vince Vaughn
Having the most intimate
talking in the car.
moment.
Yeah, so they talk about like at first they're both facing forward, staring at the police station, and then like
Booker's
Then
also in
they
the front seat.
and yeah, Booker is in the front seat, Vince Vaughn's in the back, and they start talking, but they're both still looking forward. The next thing you see, Josh is like completely turned around in the seat, like leaning over, talking, and then it cuts to Josh's mom comes home, and Josh is like, she's immediately like, oh yeah, my flight got back early, which is a weird thing.
No, her flight got canceled.
A flight got canceled, so
Which makes sense if
home.
it's like Spirit, maybe.
So she's
We
like,
are
"What? Why
Delta
is there?
Airlines."
Why is Millie tied up in our living
Yeah.
room?"
The mom is
We
asking
are-
right questions.
Yeah.
Though. She's like, I know this child.
And all Josh can come up with is that we're role playing.
But then he also tries to say that she's supposed to act like she doesn't want to tied up.
Yeah, she's
Want to be tied
method.
up. She's method. And then the mom's like, "Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't role playing a sexual thing?" And he goes, "Well, Mom, there's something I need to tell you. I'm straight."
You are many things, but you are not straight.
I love that. She's like, she uses his full name, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Yes.
she does.
Joshua, whatever. She goes, "You are many things.
But you are.
You are not straight.
Straight.
Untie this girl." And
And at that point, the butcher like breaks out of
because
the.
he's been wiggling his little
Yeah.
hands
No.
the whole time.
That was a really easy tie to get out of. So
I mean, they just tied his hands.
I mean, to be fair, they are also
Grabs-
teenagers, and none of them seem to be, you know
what? They
Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts.
Well, no,
so-
because they asked Millie how she learned how to tie that knot. She said her father was an Eagle Scout.
Oh, so you think it was maybe like muscle memory?
Of her tying the knot?
Yeah.
No,
I
it's the
think
fact that
Dad
she has
taught
the
her.
knowledge. She can grab a piece of rope and tie a knot.
Oh.
It's not really
Dad-
muscle memory.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe it was like muscle memory of Vince Vaughn untying the knot.
Well, I think he just wiggled his little hands free.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But also, they should have
Wiggled his little hand.
wiggled his little hands free. Millie's got little hands compared to Vince Vaughn, as we make a comment of in
As
the
a
car.
tiny wrist individual, I
You're-
struggle to
Baby,
get
you're-
untied.
You're a tiny everything individual, except
Gets-
your big old head. But I love you.
Wow.
Millie not Millie. The butcher gets at.
But I was like, well, they should have taken the butcher's hands while he was
Yeah.
unconscious and wrapped duct tape around every single finger and then taped it like a mitten. That way he can't even use his hands.
Yeah, but where did he get the knife from?
Josh's mom had it.
Yeah.
Josh's mom picked up the knife to
She
cut
did,
the
the ropes.
Yeah.
cut the ropes, and then the butcher breaks out,
Chases him through the house.
Yeah, gets the knife.
Have a shining moment where the knife comes through the door.
They hide in the bathroom or a bedroom.
He says, "Lock the windows."
Yeah,
And, the butcher has a thing about this fucking body.
yeah, because
again.
can't break through the door.
Yep.
But is able to stab. I mean, we know those doors. Doors aren't built like they used to. They're mostly hollow in
Yeah.
a lot of places. But
There's
the knife-
hollowed here. Our dog ate through one.
The knife goes through the door, and I did catch. I even wrote down, "Knife through the door. Here's Johnny," and I was hoping we would get one of those references. We didn't.
I'm so glad we didn't.
It was very close though. When that knife went through, we were 2 seconds away from like a "Here's Johnny."
Yeah.
And
Right,
they
right,
were
right.
straight. Yeah.
Josh starts Josh does one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. He can, even though the knife went through the door and the knife then gets pulled out of the door, continues to sit with his back
in
against
the
it,
same
right?
place. Yes,
Because that's how. I don't remember which was it Scream 4, where the aunt gets killed through the mail slot in the door. She's like trying to hold the door closed and tells Sydney to run and gets stabbed through the back of the head, through the mail slot in the door.
It's gotta be 4 or 5. I never saw anything past 3.
Yeah, I think 4 was the one with the... Yeah, because 1 was the original, 2 was college, 3 was...
Hollywood.
The Hollywood one, and then 4 was the... Spoilers, cousin.
Yeah.
Cut back to the police station, but the car. So Josh is trying to call Nyla, cuts to the car, and Booker goes, "Can I get in the back seat?
yes.
I want to talk to you face to face," or something like that.
This is one of my favorite scenes.
I wrote, "Oh my God, are they going to kiss?"
And
This is why I said the kid playing Booker has to be an adult.
Yeah.
Has to be an
Yeah.
adult.
but like this is also where I was like, this is the true definition of pansexual.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I feel that.
Booker is into.
Yeah,
Booker's down for anything.
I was like, as a bisexual, bisexual works for me in the sense of it was like pansexual. I didn't know what it was when I learned what it was, but like bisexual is what I learned first, and I was like, this works, this fits.
Yeah.
I'm kicking it.
I think Booker
is pansexual
because Booker's into Millie. And it
It's
doesn't matter
what she
that-
is.
He doesn't care about the packaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He cares about
the person.
Yes.
the person on the inside.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I
But-
think that is, I would agree. Yeah,
Like-
that's pretty much the definition of...
But
Pansexual.
But-
But how I learned it.
like I say, he's down for anything. Millie smells like fucking hot dog water.
And he was like,
He was down to clown.
he was like, Millie, this is it. We're doing it. You're saying okay.
I mean, there's a very sweet conversation that happens. And
I don't
think
remember
it
most
once
of it.
No.
But it's basically that
does-
he reveals that he's always had a crush on her too.
Or that he, like, if she had just signed the note, he would have... He would have gone for it.
Well, yeah, because I think he's also had that same fear of, well, what if I go for Millie? I don't want to get rejected. But
Right.
he has a comment of he's always had a crush on her.
Right.
But like it made me realize the sense of how many people have had a thing for me and just never gone for it, you know?
A lot of people.
That is being optimistic, and I really appreciate that.
You know, I'm supposed to hype. I'm your best friend. I'm
I was
supposed to hype you up like this.
yeah.
I mean, I like you a little bit.
You went for it also immediately.
Yeah.
Like
I
in
mean,
the most.
Didn't you like
He had the
deny
mo-
him and then he
No, he had the most stalkerish approach to get to me, and it
All right,
worked
you
for
don't
him.
got to use that word because that's a lie.
It's exactly what it was.
No.
slid into her DMs, y'all? It was
After I didn't even see him he found me on Tinder
How?
because my Instagram was attached to my Tinder.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You gave me the rope.
But I didn't see him on Tinder.
And you did not hang yourself with it. Good job. So, anyways, I made a note here because you can very clearly see that they're going to kiss. And I said, imagine.
No, I'm pretty sure. I think lips locked.
So I'm getting there.
You think what?
I
I
said,
think lips locked.
imagine going from Disney to kissing Vince Vaughn in a horror movie. Imagine just like you get your. I don't think he got his start on Girl Meets World, but I was just like,
No, I feel like
imagine going from that to now you're in a horror movie with Vince Vaughn and you get to kiss him.
I mean, but
And I don't know if lips actually touched. There was a lot of like,
angling.
yeah, and there was the hand. So Millie brings their hand up.
Yeah.
So it could have been a stage kiss. I don't really care either way. The effect was there.
These guys smooched.
They smooched.
There's kissing.
but
there was
like
smooching.
to be
We're here
saying,
for
though,
it.
it's
We support it. I think it's
the
great
guy
acting.
can, at the very least, can say he has stage kissed Vince Vaughn, which not
Either
a lot
way.
of guys can say.
No.
See people living your dream every day.
So
Yes.
then Millie makes a comment. Maybe we should wait until my hands aren't bigger than your
Your
face.
face.
Yes.
And I loved that.
That's when Josh makes the comment, or not Josh. That's when Booker makes the comment of he doesn't really care
Yeah.
He just
But
he likes Millie, but he's like, no, that's cool. I respect
whenever
it.
you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he
okay,
does not
consent
care.
king.
He just likes Millie.
Yeah.
Whether she's in the body of a 40-something-year-old man.
And I was like, oh, this is the true definition of pansexuality. Okay.
Yep. The butcher shows up.
Yep.
Runs into the police station.
Yep.
Pretends
And
to be Millie.
They see it from the car and are like, oh, no, and then run in.
This is when I feel like it turns into like a bit of a cartoon.
Yep.
Because they don't try to talk to the sister.
Barney fifes it.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, Char shoots first, asks questions.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't shoot until
Char turns into, I'm not going to lie, she's like, there's a black person in front of me. No need to ask questions.
So one step at a time. Char finds Nyla breaking into the evidence locker.
right, and she's like, "What do you do with that knife?"
What's behind your back? Drops the knife and says, "Kick the knife over here." Then the butcher runs in.
Oh, also her phone rings. And she says, "Don't answer that phone."
But then
Yeah.
also, like,
But the
And
butcher,
and we can see on the phone that it's Josh.
but the butcher
Yes.
doesn't run in until after. I'm sorry, the butcher runs in.
First.
Then Booker and Millie run in.
Millie, yeah.
the problem is Char doesn't at no point try to justify herself. She's like, hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah,
And I'm like, girl, just be like, this is a weird situation. I've known you for this long. Like, this is what happened. Like, a lot of my friends are younger siblings and or older siblings. So it's like, we don't have the people to justify it to. But I feel like the older siblings, the few older siblings that I have that are friends, I'm like, you could say, hey, this is what's going on. Hey, let me help you. You know?
yeah, but you have to try to convince someone that their sibling was body swapped. But the problem is they don't even try.
Yeah.
Literally,
all.
the butcher runs in, pretends to be Millie, and Char is immediately siding with him. And when Millie runs in, she shoots at her. She dies behind a table, and I forget how Millie is able to run up, grab her sister, and throw her in a cell.
Yeah.
But this is where she has a thing where I thought they were trying to convince her because she says, "I'm sorry about your hamster. I'm sorry about the beagle."
Exactly. Like, I feel like for me, like if I were to say like, and you just ran a word, Jay would be like, "Wait, what?" And Jay would immediately know, be like, "Oh, shit's going down."
Yeah.
Like, even if I didn't like, he didn't know I was being body swapped, he'd be like, "Weird, suspicious." That
But they don't try. They literally
Nothing!
Char is out of the movie or out of it for most of the remaining runtime.
Yeah.
till the end, and she comes in and saves life. But
Locked in the jail cell.
Yeah. But the butcher also grabs the knife in this moment, and
The butcher, yeah, Millie's body, the butcher, grabs the knife.
Yes.
And takes off. And we know that
cuts Nyla's wrist too.
And we know that they are heading
Yes.
towards
The mill,
the mill.
because
where
he's the one that suggested it.
Yeah.
The homecoming.
yeah,
Booker,
for
right?
for the homecoming, the secret homecoming party, because
Yeah, Booker tells him.
The school did end up canceling
The
after
homecoming,
Ryler
yes.
died, and then
Mr. Asshole.
and the butcher was running around the school, so they
Right.
were like, "We're canceling the homecoming dance." So they had a secret homecoming dance.
Rare good move of the school.
Yeah, and the butcher, when they were at the fun center with the mini golf, the butcher had suggested having it at the mill.
Right.
I couldn't
And-
remember if we had discussed that.
A little bit. But then this is also, we're like, oh, he wants people there. It's like a trap.
Well, yeah, and that's why I even made a note. I wasn't sure if maybe the butcher was looking for a stronger body. Like, took the knife because we don't know what kind of research the butcher did into what the knife does and how long the transformation lasts. So I couldn't tell if they were taking the knife to keep it away from Millie or if they were taking the knife because they were looking for a stronger body.
The butcher knows at this point because they explain it to Booker when he wakes up.
Okay.
So the butcher knows everything at
Okay.
that point. But I think you're right because the butcher does take the knife. I don't think he wants
Yeah.
to be in this body because it's too...
It's weak.
It's weak, but it's also... People know.
Yeah.
So he probably wants to swap bodies with somebody else.
And with the knife, like, it's a Chucky situation.
He could just keep going.
Yeah.
He could live forever.
Yeah. So at this point, we see the butcher at the party and sees the guy that he had made the
Sandpaper's dry as pussy. Or pussy.
Yes, the sandpaper is dry as pussy.
Pussy is as dry as sandpaper guy.
Yeah,
and he's
right.
talking shit. And he goes, I don't make anybody's pussy dry.
Yeah.
He's really insecure.
And
Poor
he,
little fella.
takes her. So the butcher leads him alone, evidently we know, to kill. Two other guys roll up, and there is the
he leads
creepiest
the
comment.
butcher that way. He's the one leading the way.
But the butcher's intention is going to be.
Oh, absolutely. But he's the one that's like taking her that way because there's two other guys.
Two other guys show
And
up.
he's so classy in this moment. He goes, "Well, look at that. There's 3 of us. You got 3 holes. The math is mathin'."
Disgusting.
I found this to be pretty funny what the butcher does. Takes the bottle, dumps out the little bit of booze in
one of the
it.
guys had like a
like
little bit
It was
of
like a little whiskey bottle or
Yeah.
something. Not a little, but like the size of a Jack Daniels bottle. It's like
Yeah.
a square bottle.
Yeah.
And smacks one guy in the side of the head with it. Uses the broken bottleneck to cut the other guy's throat.
Yeah.
And
Kills one guy straight off.
And then kills sandpaper pussy with a chainsaw, crotch first.
Yeah, so the chainsaw came out and I was like, ooh, yes, let's get a Texas Chainsaw Massacre moment. I love.
But we don't really see any of it. It's
yeah.
kind of like the initial dive into the dude's crotch. And then when we see this scene later, I was like, oh, he didn't kill that one guy. He just smacked him in the head with the bottle.
Yeah.
When we come back later, he had decapitated that guy with the chainsaw.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, never mind. He's
That
dead.
guy's still alive.
So then at that
Fuck
point.
them, though. They were attempted rapists.
At that point, our 4? No. Yes. Because Josh shows up.
Yeah.
Josh,
they meet.
Millie, Nyla, and Booker
Yep.
Yes.
all come together, and it's getting very close to midnight.
Yes.
So Booker, and it's very important that this is what happens. Booker gives his watch to Millie.
His Apple
with
Watch,
the
yes.
I missed him giving her the watch. I did think it was funny.
It's all coming together.
Yeah, well, when we were watching the movie, I was like, where the fuck did she get a watch? Yeah. I missed that. I don't know what I was doing, but I missed that totally.
Yeah, because I had to wait. I was like, no, this is important. It's important. I was like, no, it's 5 minutes. It's because of the 5 minutes.
I was so lost. When she turns that corner and she looks at the watch, I was like, the fuck? I was like,
So Booker gives Millie, in Vince Vaughn's body, the watch. And they set an alarm to go off at midnight so they'll know when they ran out of time.
and they have less than an hour left at this
Yeah.
point. They have minutes
And
left.
they split up again.
Which is wild. Why would you
Wild.
split up at,
Why?
like, no, we're staying hog-tied, zip-tied, handcuffed.
I don't think you want to be hogtied in this situation.
You're right.
Look, you know what? I'm going wherever the fuck Millie is going.
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
She's built like a tank.
Yeah.
We're all going together.
Yeah.
But also, this is where Josh gets pulled to the side by that one jock.
Yeah.
He's like, I know. He's drunk. He's like, I know where Millie is. And he takes Josh in the back and he kisses him. And Josh is like kind of taken aback because this is not the time for this.
Yeah.
And this is where he calls Josh an F-bomb.
To be
Yeah.
fair, not to be fair, but this is one of those moments where I was like, this is a Teen Wolf moment where I was like, we don't have time for this. People are dying.
Yeah, there is the like a trope of the drunk individual switching teams and
Yes.
and yeah. Backs up into a wall and we already know what's happening.
He also says, if you tell anybody, I'll kill you.
yeah.
Yes.
Now we get a I know what you did last summer moment. Fist punches through the wall next to
The jock. I don't
the
remember
jock.
his name.
I can't remember. Yeah, Phil's head. It has a hook in its hand. Pulls back and gets him in the eye.
Oh, it's so brutal.
It is.
And then
Yeah.
the butcher just pulls him right through the wall.
Yeah, yeet through the wall. And I'm like, why are you so strong? At that point, I had almost started to think maybe a body swap has already happened. But then I realized that didn't make sense for the lore of the knife that they had built. So
I mean, it might just be the fact that it's just a shitty ass wall.
yeah,
But then he also cuts Millie's leg
yep,
because that's when they show up. They all show up on him,
yep.
and they
Millie does manage to get the knife
uh huh.
and goes to stab the butcher, and the timer goes off.
Well, they had that little chase.
Yeah, there was a little chase scene.
And Nyla and Josh tackle him, get the butcher down. They have him pinned, and this is where Millie is about to stab him when the timer goes off.
Yes. Which is, okay, for me, I was like, I don't care if the timer's going off.
Yeah.
I'm still going for it.
It's
just
still,
in case.
It's not 12:01.
Yeah. I was like, I still have 60 seconds.
Yeah.
We're running through these seconds till it goes.
Yeah.
Like,
Keep stabbing.
just
Keep stabbing
like,
Millie's body.
I was just screaming at the screen like, stab them. Do it anyway.
And this is another thing. I totally missed the comment about the 5 minutes. I missed the
Yeah.
giving of the watch. They're like, wait, we still have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they flash back to Booker saying the 5 minutes early thing. And
Also,
then,
the butcher starts laughing at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did.
Millie-
She did
She
really
stabs
good
him.
acting, yeah.
Millie stabs the butcher in Millie's body. And then I wrote, but the switch wasn't immediate. Like, so here we see the switch happened immediately, like the switch back.
Yeah,
happened
whereas
immediately. The other one had to, but it was already midnight. Mm-hmm. Or it was close to midnight.
The first stabbing took effect at midnight.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this stabbing, they have until midnight to
Yeah.
do it again. It's not saying it'll switch back at midnight.
Yeah. I wrote a couple of notes here because I was like, maybe they were going to let the butcher up too early and it was still, or maybe they were going to let Millie up too early. It was still going to be the butcher. But it's the same thing. Like the stab happens, the stab appears on both bodies, the same wound.
Same spot, stab in
yeah.
the same spot.
Yeah.
Just open that right
Maybe
back
they're
up.
like, hey, we know where it is. Let's
You know,
go
we're
ahead.
not going to get the heart this time.
Yeah.
We don't have to go in deep because
Yes.
the first stabbing, literally, the only reason the butcher stopped stabbing Millie originally
Yeah.
is because he also was hurt.
Yeah.
There was too much time left in this movie for there not to be one more scare. And I love
folks,
that.
we have a rare fourth act.
I didn't realize there was going to be this fourth act. I was like, when that second, I was like, oh.
Happens a lot in horror movies.
I didn't know.
But
I'm going to bring back Alien because it happened in Alien.
Not a whole fourth act, but a lot of times you get the like one final scare.
I just call that a fourth act.
I thought it was the end.
This was
like,
a whole fourth act.
It was.
I would consider this to be different from just like a one final jump scare. So they take the butcher, who is now back in his own body, away in an ambulance, presumably to arrest.
And it was very reminiscent of...
Wait. Once they switch back, they let Millie up, and they're like, Millie, what's your favorite sports team? She goes, I don't care about sports. And the cops that were chasing them through the mill catch up, and Josh has a great line of, shoot that motherfucker!
Yeah.
And the cops light the butcher up.
But to be fair, for me, when that moment happened, I was like, I'm going to need a more clarified or clear...
Good job.
Man.
Good job. I'm gonna need
need-
some more clarification.
Yeah. Yes, because I was like, that answer, I was like, if I don't say anything other than the Cleveland Browns, I'm going to need something. So I'm going to need more lead time.
Yeah.
A little more clarification, because that question, not going to work for me.
Yeah.
Not going to work for me.
The butcher apparently dead, but getting taken away in an ambulance, and you were saying reminiscent of you had started to say
Reminiscent of one of the Michael Myers films where he's in the is it Halloween 2 or
No, because he's
possibly
he gets blown up at the end of 2, at the end of 4,
no,
he falls
but
down
I
a
think
well.
the beginning of 2, because the beginning of 2 starts in the same night, doesn't it?
He might be in an ambulance at the beginning of 2.
I've only seen Halloween in reminiscence of Dead Meat, so
I can see that.
yeah.
So he slips off the heart monitor off his finger,
Yeah.
and presumably he
So
kills
they
all
think
the
he's
people in his
dead.
ambulance.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they're
yeah.
like, his heart's getting really slow. We're losing him, and the cops like, good. Well, his heart rate goes flat, and it's just he slipped the sensor off his finger.
Yeah, we get a close up on the hands.
But this is after we get the scene of Millie and Booker in the back of the ambulance, where they finally, kiss properly in the right bodies.
Yeah.
And he holds up her hand. He goes, well, look at that. Your hand's smaller than my head.
Yeah.
He's like, you ready to do this?
Yep.
And they have a little tender moment.
Cute.
And I think this is the last time we see any of the friends in the movie. I think they're also in the background. You can hear them going, woo!
Yeah.
And Millie just flips them off.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's very reminiscent of high school people being like,
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. My friend's doing what they've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
But also just kind of embarrassing you.
Yes.
Like, you don't want a cheerleading squad when you're doing that.
So then we get the ambulance scene with the butcher, and then we cut to Millie and her mom. Millie all
Again, not at the hospital.
No,
Yes.
not at the hospital. They're both sitting in bed. Mom's like holding Millie. It's like a very sweet moment. Basically, Millie's mom says you should go to whatever college you want. And it is a moment of closure for us as the audience, seeing, okay, she is going to start, in theory, getting her act together, but that's not how alcoholism works. So maybe I'm just really cynical about that for reasons, but I just was...
Well, either way, it's a tender moment.
Yeah, it is a tender moment.
No,
to me, it fell flat, but that's just...
I mean, the mom could be drunk in that moment, and the next morning she's not going to remember. I told you what?
Oh.
No, you need to stay here with Mama.
But metaphorically, she was like, hey, I'm letting you go.
Right.
We
She's like,
have
hey.
to believe the best in this moment that mom is finally getting
Well,
her
of
act
course.
together.
But yeah, so the mom tells her, it's fine, go to school.
Yep.
Shar says she's going to bed. Millie
Yep.
says she's going to bed. She's walking through the house. Back door's open.
Yep.
And she says a
And
great
she's
line.
so calm about it.
Well, she has a great line of, Shar, you left the back door open again.
For someone who was just, threatened to be knifed.
Right.
For the last 24 hours.
Yes.
But she's walking through the house and she opens up these big sliding doors into like their den. And the camera cuts to in front of Millie. Suddenly the butcher's right behind her.
Yes.
Yeah. It does that, like, going back to the beginning, that, like, looks in the front,
Yeah.
cuts to the back, looks
Yeah.
to the front again, and there's the butcher.
Right.
And Millie gets her shit rocked.
Oh, he
really does.
He chucks this kid.
And that's...
But it's really nice because you see the butcher get his full strength back.
Yeah.
Where I feel like when Millie was in the butcher's body, she was holding back because she didn't know the full strength of the butcher.
I also feel like she didn't want to hurt her own body.
Well,
I don't want to be paralyzed when we get back to normal.
Yeah.
But it's also like she's also not wanting to hurt the people she knows because the
Of
only
course.
people she's like interacting with is the people she knows.
Of course.
So it's like she's holding back this whole time. So when she's back in the butcher's body, she's like unleashing.
No.
this energy.
When the butcher is back in his own body.
That's true. He's
He's just going ham because he doesn't give a fuck.
He's like, fuck, I'm just like yeeting these people into the oblivion.
And Shar walks in with her gun drawn, and she goes to pull the trigger, and nothing happens.
When Shar showed up, I was like, with that gun, I was so disappointed she didn't just unload into that guy.
And then all the bullets on the ground, like, seriously the worst cop.
No, because like,
What do you mean?
All the bullets hit the ground.
That's because the butcher unloaded her gun. He had the bullets in his pocket.
Oh,
When he's holding Millie, and Shar walks in and tries to shoot, the gun doesn't go off.
I missed that.
He
I'm
reaches
sorry.
into his pocket and he grabs all the bullets and he drops them on the carpet.
which
Oh my
I
gosh.
feel like is like a weird missed opportunity for potential. Because like just having Shar unleash sheer paramountal, like, I'm just going to unload to this girl or this guy who like terrorized my sister for the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because like there's a moment where Shar had to realize like, this is my sister in this guy's body. Where she could have been like, fuck it, I'm just gonna
I just
go.
don't trust Shar as a cop.
There's that, but they're like, there's a moment where I was like, she could have just unloaded into him.
So then we get this great fight scene of Shar trying to reload the gun. Mom comes in and is attacking the butcher with no weapon.
Oh, she pounces on him.
Yeah. With
She
no weapon.
hits him with something.
She did. She hit him with something, but I don't know what it was.
This is the only moment I like the mom though.
Millie is fighting back. They're all fighting back. They're all getting their asses handed to them. And at I believe it was a broken chair.
Yes.
Millie is able to stab the butcher from behind.
But he has that monologue. He says something about
the weak.
yeah. He says
The only time he monologues.
Yeah.
but it got him killed
Yep.
because he insults her again, and he says, you're weak in this in your body, but he's like, but we can fix that. And I think this might be where he headbutts her and like smashes her nose.
Yeah.
And then the mom and the sister hit him some more.
Yes.
And this is where Millie grabs the broken part of the chair.
It just, like, shoves it through him and then kicks the rest of the chair through him to, like, get it lodged. And I was like, there's my girl.
Yeah. It's like a half stabbed in the back and then kicked to be a full impalement. And I was kind of sad that Vince Vaughn fell forward onto his side. And, like, I get why it was. The prosthetics don't work like an actual impalement would. But I was just hoping it would come back through when he landed forward. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, yeah. And then we get this beautiful line from Millie at the end. Because way back at the beginning, her friends were trying to hype her up when she was still dressed like Laurie Strode and wearing her cardigans that said, don't forget that you are a fucking piece.
Yes.
And at the end of the movie, Millie has this beautiful line of, I am a fucking piece.
Last line of the movie.
And then we get this great song, I think it was called Suck My Cherry.
Oh.
Yeah, right? But just end credits were great. It was a great ending. No notes. No notes on that.
In terms of the season, this was a great female empowerment moment. In terms of movies we've done this season, I really liked it. Now, the movie as a whole, no. But the ending...
would you have regretted seeing this in the theater?
The whole movie? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, we couldn't have seen it in the theater because it was 22.
But that's not...
Actually, maybe we could have.
That's not the question.
No, you know what? I think we
question.
could have... We might have been able to if we were in, like, a different city.
Maybe.
But
that's irrelevant. If you were sitting in a movie theater with this on the big screen,
yeah.
You got your big drink and your big popcorn,
yeah.
And you see Millie kill Vince Vaughn, would you have regretted seeing the theater?
Just
Abby?
because...
No, you go ahead and finish first.
My dad would have loved this movie. Also, would not have liked the movie, surprisingly. No, I don't like it's not for me. I'm not a horror film.
Yeah.
Not a horror comedy, not a... Like, I like the end because I love a good girl empowerment. Outside of that,
yeah,
not for me.
Interesting. So, to go back to your question, I go to the movies for, like, scary movies. I do
No, it's
enjoy...
not scary movies specifically for this one.
But this one, if it had come out at the right time, I probably would have gone to see it. And I don't think I would have regretted seeing it. But I'm pretty... there are very few movies that I've gone to the theater to see that I regretted seeing. And ironically, another one, it was a Vince Vaughn movie. That's one that I nearly walked. It was a movie he did with Jennifer Aniston called The Breakup.
Really?
I never saw it.
I actually think I walked out of the theater on that one.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
I've only ever almost walked out of a movie once, and it was Kingsman 2.
Oh my God.
Wow.
10 minutes in, Erica turned to me and said, can we leave?
They killed, what's his name?
They killed Michael
dog?
Gambon. They killed the dog. They killed the girl from the first movie.
And then they killed the beautiful man.
Mark Strong.
Yeah, they killed Mark Strong, and I was like, I gotta go.
That movie was terrible. I hated it.
I was like,
really?
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to be here no more. And I was like,
I'll tell you another one that we almost walked out on. I've never walked out of a movie in the movie theater, but I've had plenty where I'm sitting there going, this is miserable.
Yeah.
The Hitman's Bodyguard.
yes, that was the one. And I was like, I gotta go. I was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds. It's a fucking
Have not
garbage
seen
movie. And they made a sequel to it.
Oh, wow.
Terrible.
I've only ever walked out of one movie that I can remember. And yeah, ironically enough, it was another Vince Vaughn movie. But to answer your question, no, I would not have regretted seeing this in the theaters.
Okay.
That's fair.
I really enjoyed this movie. If I had to put it on a scale, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Nice.
Which is still really good for me. I like horror movies. I like horror comedies. There's a soft spot in my heart for this kind of stuff. So this is right up my alley.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
I would have regretted seeing this in the theater.
Really? Oh, I feel like
But
you really enjoyed it.
I had a good time, but that's because I was in the comfort of my home. If I paid money to go watch this in the theater, I feel like I would have left underwhelmed.
Oh.
Or as I said, going to Pop Shelf, I would have left whelmed. Like
whelmed.
I said that unironically.
We had watched was it 10 Things I Hate About You not too long before that.
Well, it's in Clueless.
Yeah.
It's in 10 Things I Hate About You.
You.
We were leaving Pop Shelf, and that's how I described my visit there. But no, this movie's good. I like it. I don't think there are enough kills in it.
I think there's enough kills. I don't think there's enough. There's something missing, but I think there's enough kills.
So the stakes are so low. Like you said, nobody good really dies in this movie, except for maybe the teens at the beginning, because we're not given the chance to know them well enough to know if they're good or bad.
I wouldn't even say that no one dies good, but I think you could
she meant no good people.
Yeah, no.
Oh, because I was like,
all the people that die kind of are assholes.
Yeah, because like you can point out who's going to die.
It's telegraphed.
I was thinking the mom was going to die. I was like, Josh is going to die.
Yes.
But because we established a relatively low stakes movie, yeah, I get it.
I think it's also the fact it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Like, this is meant to be funny. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, people are going to die, but
to be very funny.
But we're only going to kill people you don't like. Right. Even the people in the ambulance, we don't see them die because they are
inconsequential to the plot.
Exactly.
Even movies like Shaun of the Dead have higher stakes than that, because the best friend becomes a zombie at the end of Shaun of spoilers.
Yes.
Becomes a zombie.
Yes, that 20 years spoiler.
R.I.P. Nick Frost and Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. But there's such a fine line, and that's why I think it's a horror comedy just based on the content.
Mm-hmm. Just based on Vince Vaughn's performance.
Almost comes across more like a dark comedy than a horror comedy.
Yeah. It's a completely fine movie. I don't really have big complaints about it. No. It's just I think I liked it so much because I watched it from my couch.
Yeah.
If I had gone to see this in the theater, I would have left going, eh.
Yeah.
All right. So we got 2 would have regretted seeing it, 1 not regretted seeing it.
Yeah, but I'm that kind of person.
So,
I don't regret much.
If we had gone to the theater to see this in 2020.
In 2020!
What would you have spent on a ticket?
Ooh, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
$10.21.
Yeah, between 10 and 11.
You're both high.
Really?
It's 9. Really? I got the average movie cost
Gotcha.
in 2020 would have been $9.37.
So who's closest?
Is it a competition?
Is it a competition?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
This would be a thing that'd be very easy to cheat.
Season 2 will be a competition.
Season 2, I might do a different little trivia thing that you can't cheat on.
Where I can't pop in just sitting next to the computer screen.
Yeah.
All right. So our next episode in 2 weeks is going to be... Hey there, gang. Editor Adam here. Past Adam said the wrong movie. So in 2 weeks, we'll actually be doing Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. So please join us for that. We're really looking forward to it. So I'm excited for that one because I've never heard of this movie. I know what it is now.
Yeah.
So in 2 weeks, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. This has been our conversation on Freaky.
Good episode.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
All right, I'm Adam.
I'm Erica.
I'm Abby.
And we've been Getting to the Theater. Thanks for listening. Bye.